Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Walk up the river by my son. Feet step over splinters of the moon. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Gold birds, gold string, gold words, gold anything, golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things.
Well, hello. Hey, how is everyone? Are we good? Hopefully we are. Let me just do a tiny bit of thinking music. So, I know I sound a bit different today. Welcome everyone, by the way, to the AF show. Today, I am sick AF. That's the issue. Hey, Permanel, you're new. Welcome. You might not want to shake my hand. So, my hands are pretty clean, I'll be honest. But, trying a message from Jen. And Jen's like, you're going live on YouTube when you're feeling ill. You're brave. And it's like, well, it's not like you can see me being sick, can you? Hello, everybody. Sick after 40, not fun. It's just sick AF as well. Hey, everybody. How's it going? So, a couple of things today. We may have a couple of obscurity. I have picked up some horrible England germs that sort of wrecked my voice. I tried filming today. I got a really cool video on autistic love languages. And I know you may have seen this stuff from other creators before, but I do try to be a bit different. It's still PG-13. But we've got a bit of a show and tell. Some cool things to show you guys. Talking about pebbling. Look, Nina left me this on my desk. That's sweet. This is more than just a pebble, though. You could literally knock someone out with this. This is for when it gets too much. I can sort of bop myself on the head with it. Oh, thank you very much, Tea Fairy. What the heck is that?
Cough medicine.
There's cough medicine. What's the lemon for?
Aesthetics.
Aesthetics. What's all the powder?
Aesthetics.
It's not special powder.
Sugar, does that help?
Is it sugar and cinnamon? It is. It's sugar and cinnamon. She's giving me sugar and cinnamon. And a little vial of... It's not a shot of anything fun. It's
And the rest.
It's this stuff. This is what you get for meeting YouTubers. I got diseased. Blech. Just trying to make me vomit on stream. It's disgusting. It's literally the most disgusting thing you can put in your mouth. PG-13.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So this is what happens when you meet YouTubers, like, especially English ones, you know. You get diseased. So I picked something up in England, obs. And you know, I try to stay away from people, and I'm washing my hands constantly. But clearly it's not enough. Vomiting on screen could be good for views. Do you reckon? Yeah. Yeah, the dreaded... I mean... How do I sound, by the way? I've got no headphones on, so... Does this sound good? English germs. I got diseased. I don't know if it was in, you know, from Bristol, or if I picked up something. I got a YouTube transmitted disease. A YTD. Not COVID, probably, because I, Helen, I could have got it from you guys. My voice sounds deeper than usual. Thanks, DJ. I just feel rattly. I'll try not to cough on the mic, by the way. I'll give you guys that much. General Otter, you sound more adult for some reason. It's because when I get excited, my voice goes higher pitched. You'll get better with the Magic Teeth. I think you're still streaming. Thank you guys for still turning up. You want to know why it's a couple of hours later? It's because I'm just buggered today. Just absolutely buggered. But stay with me, because I sound like a radio host. Well, plus 1 point for radio voice, minus 10 tummy points. GI issues all going around, you know, the UK. But anyway, no, Quinn's good. So, I put out the message. I put out the call for arms to other YouTubers. I got England cooties. Yeah. Harriet, I think there's something in that. Because if you think about it, I work from home. Like, when I'm hanging around other scuba divers and stuff, we're all... You don't go anywhere near other scuba divers. You don't go to dive shop when you've got any respiratory issues. Nothing. Do you know what I mean? We kind of look after each other in that way. And anyway, we're not actually, like, that close, if that makes sense. Like, physically, a lot of the time. Like... So it's probably quite a clean sport in that respect. So yeah, a combination of just being around the animals who don't give me diseases, and, you know, divers who don't give me diseases. I then go to England, which is essentially a cesspit, and I come back with... Sea Fairy's just told me off for calling England a cesspit. No, I actually like England. I lived there for 10 years. I'm just saying. In terms of working, I did put a hat on the cat. The cat has a bowler hat. Apologies, by the way, if my flippant comment about England upset anyone. That wasn't my intention. I had a lovely time. And so what I'm trying to say is, like, in terms of respiratory diseases. So, yeah, I think it is a downside. I think if you go and like you're just away from people, which we kind of are, right? Oh, Dean, I've out CCTV in public restrooms to increase potential people washing hands. Yeah, there should be like a washing hands detector. Also, what's the point of washing your hands when you then have to touch a door to get out? TJ, the bowler hat on the cat not only was inspired by Quinn, but it was a suggestion from Quinn vis-a-vis filming some funny sketches. He was like, Mike, you need a bowler hat. So I got a bowler hat for the cat. It's city life, too many people together. Yes, exactly. You should have seen the look T Fairy gave me when I said English aspect. But like, so is the other man, incidentally, in the winter, you know. Actually, not long after TT, there's always respiratory stuff that goes around. JB, wish I worked from home. The less you have to work with neurotypicals, the less discrimination you face. Yeah. I think, maybe not necessarily just the work from home, but just like working in text-based communication is quite good. No offense taken, thanks, Ellen. Eagle Rider, I had a great time Saturday at the comedy show, even though I ticked like a Tourette's creature all night and became part of the show. I became part of the show in a nice way, right? Not in a... As we were saying. I am glad it went really, really well. That's pretty cool. Going to a comedy show and getting like called out, like, you there, that guy. I think that'd be my worst nightmare. Dean, change of topic. How often are you told that you look like Jacob Collier? Never. So is that one? Are you giving me a Jacob Collier vibe? I have a piano. Hello, yes. It's because I'm sick and needed more preparation time. That's what it is. That's why. But I was hoping we could chill. I actually had some ideas for this stream. I had plans, but I'm not going to do it right now because... Oh, Drew Lynch. Oh, cool. Oh, that's mega. I'm really glad to hear that he was good about it. Ale, hello. Are you new? I like your profile picture. And by the way, just a thing. If you're in the Scratching Post, if you look on the Hydrates channel, Nina's son and girlfriend came along to pick up one of the cats. So the tab cat, who I have affectionately referred to as the lawyer, because he looks like, or at least when he was younger, he looked like the Zoom filter that American solicitor had on and couldn't get off during COVID when he was talking to the judge. And he was like, I'm not a cat, Your Honor, I'm not a cat. So, you know, Nina and I have been calling him the lawyer. He's getting called... What are they calling him? Appa from Avatar The Last Airbender. Aang's companion. That's quite a cool name. Okay, Jacob Collier again. So, how about we're sometime around Christmas, we'll do a little Christmas piano concert. Sorry. Thank you very much. I'll take that. I quite like Jacob Collier. I like the stuff he does with the audience, you know, like getting the audience to sing. It's just amazing. My brain interpreted that as Nina's son and girlfriend are the same person. No. Nina's son is massive and Nina's girlfriend is... Well, not Nina's girlfriend. Nina got a girlfriend? Sorry. My brain is fuzzed, as you can tell. Hello, Sabes. Oh, yes, Sabes is there. He's on my chair. My bro got abused at a comedy club one time because he's a northerner pretending to be a southerner. Oh, wow, okay. That's funny. I sometimes find people's accents, well, actually I find people's accents very funny all the time anyway. When I'm traveling around England, so it's hard to explain to those that haven't been to England before. But in England, the accents can change really, really fast. Literally, like, in one day when I went from southwest England all the way to Yorkshire, the accents changed like 5 or 6 times. And even the names you have for things like bread rolls, that changes as well. Hey, Solid, how's it going over there on Twitch? Yeah, hey, Helly, nice. England is cool, by the way. I do miss England. I don't go there enough. Remember to hydrate. Speaking of hydration, one new thing introduced to the streams now is every half an hour, 2-minute break. Also, I found out how to turn off the YouTube ads, so nobody should be bothered by ads. And no one's going to miss anything, because I'm saying this all wrong and backwards. Like, there have been times in the past when the streams have been really, really cool. Not saying they're not always cool, but you know what I mean. I'm usually a bit more on form. And people have missed stuff because YouTube plays random ads. So instead, we do a 2-minute hydration break on the half hour. And I can manually purge the ads at that point. Thinking? Esteen, kindly ask Tea Fairy to make lemon ginger honey herbal tea. Wowzers. You'll be back in 2 days. Helly, but on the ads, what makes you money? Yeah, well, this is it, you see. The thing is, at the risk of contravening YouTube's community guidelines, I don't think you guys need to watch the ads. You could leave them running. Like, if you get an ad, leave it running. But the thing is, the ads aren't going to play while the stream is on, if that makes sense. So if we take a 2-minute break, not now, but like maybe in 10 minutes, we'll do a 2-minute break. Some ads will play for some people, but no one is going to miss any content. That's the important thing. Because, no, skip those loud, skip them, just leave them. Like, we'll do 2 minutes. A bap. A bap is a bread cake. There we go. Tanwen, thank you. Cobs. Rolls. Yeah. Baps. Muffins. Do they call them like cake something? Yeah, Tanwen's done it. There's a few more names than that. And you can literally go through England and get a different name for a bread roll each time. And people won't always understand you. It's really interesting. The other thing, does anyone ever have an accent thing that really makes them laugh all the time and it's inappropriate? Because, like, for example, in the north, from Scotland, from Yorkshire and Leeds, people say no as in no. They go no. Would you like a cup of tea? No. And that just makes me laugh so hard. I just can't. And then I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude. I think it's adorable and funny. And of course, batch, there you go, batch. And of course, when you spend a lot of time, like, you know, like I never spent any time in the north prior to moving to the Isle of Man. So are you ready for a special guest, by the way? Is everyone ready for just like a little special guest? Special guest, people? Anyone? Oh my goodness, Tea Fairy, thank you so much. This is great. We're joined by a special guest. Jen, how's it going? Hey, friend. Thank you for popping on at short notice. So I've said to everyone, like, he sent me a message saying, you're nuts to do a sick stream.
I heard you coughing in the live stream, man. You sound like you're dying.
Yeah, I'm trying not to let people hear. I've got a mute button, so I can kind of like pop it on and off if I need to. I'm good. So much better to see you, actually. In fact, it's been a while since we've done like collaboratory stuff.
Yes, it has been.
We should fix that. Oh, did you get my message from Quinn, by the way? Like, we filmed it for you on the park bench.
Yes, I did see that. Hang on one quick second. I'm going to go put my earbud back in because it's giving me some feedback. So,
okay.
Please hold while your party's being reached.
No problem. I also can deal with some echo. The problem I've got is my headphones, my wired headphones have been chewed through by the cats. So I'm going to turn on I've turned on echo suppression, and I'm going to drop Jen's volume for me down as low as possible.
Okay, I think we're good.
I really want to use headphones, but the kittens have chewed through the cable.
Yeah, man, I've got like half an hour before I have to go pick up the kids, life stuff and all of that. But I love the random invites. It's totally like an unexpected part of the day, and it's great. Mike's over here like, you got the ADHD, right? Jump on, let's do this.
Indeed. In fact, I did on the ADHD front. It was quite funny because I was talking about it with Quinn, and I sort of dropped him in it as well. I'm like, hey Quinn, why don't we both go for an ADHD assessment, like a formal one, with a psychiatrist. Like, let's both go and like film it. It'd be great. And he's like, yeah.
It really looked like you guys had a great time, and you guys really had an awesome discussion. I was impressed at how you guys put everything together on the fly, not only like, with the camera angles and everything else. Of course, that's what us YouTubers pay attention to, right? Nobody else notices that. Everybody else cares about the content of the conversation. But it was actually a great conversation, and it was great to see like Quinn, come out of his shell a little bit.
Yeah.
And you guys, touched on a lot of great topics that really resonated with me personally. First and foremost was just kind of like how culturally people are tempted to say, well, oh, you only act that way because you grew up in Germany, or I've heard people of different Asian cultures get told that like, oh, you act that way because you had a strict upbringing, and there are certain cultures where you're like, not supposed to like look people in the eye. That's considered rude or whatever. And we can all hash that out, but it's like, okay, fine. You can say that cultures are different, but at the same time, like when we connect across the pond, across the world, we all have such similar struggles and such similar like communication styles and stuff like that, or like at least understanding how each other feels when we've never met before. And I thought that was pretty great. And like watching you guys laugh made me laugh so hard. It was great.
Oh, I'm so pleased. Like, I mean, you're right, actually, because if you know that the person you're meeting has, non-conventional, I say like Western conventional communication styles, then you already making accommodations in your mind. Something Quinn was talking about, saying use like different apps to communicate with different people. Mm-hmm. He's got a friend who's blind and uses WhatsApp. And in fact, I was like asking her actually. We spoke to her actually briefly, and it was just great because I'm like, how do you like leave YouTube comments? Like, how does that work? And just explaining like how she uses like these electronic things. She's got like Braille as well. You can do like audio to Braille and like feel it on like modern devices now. It's incredible. Did you know that?
That is pretty. I can't even wrap my mind around how that would work, but it is true because this was actually one of the things that I told my psychologist when I was going to get my diagnosis, and I wasn't trying to fit a profile. I was just telling her like these weird things that I experienced. And one of the things that I told her that was weird that I experienced was like different communication styles, and how I even attributed different communication styles that I preferred with different people. So like there might be like, Messenger that I prefer with certain friends, and email that I prefer with others.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, a lot of it is probably more written communication preference for me, because I have time to kind of like think about what I want to say and process and everything. And then I have to avoid the temptation to talk for, type a book, essentially what could be the first paragraph of a novel.
I know what you mean. It's like this YouTube comment section again. I feel really bad, by the way, like when people leave us like really long comments, and I read really fast, but then I feel like I need to then process what people have said, and it's usually an entire life story. And it's like, it's so amazing. But like, you know, we do communicate differently. Some people like to just literally send like comments at the speed of thought. So they're thinking, and then the comment's been sent, and it's like a whole new one, and it's like, okay, all right, I'll leave that 5 minutes, and then I'll come back, and then I'll read them all together. So like, I think it's just great, like just being able to accommodate each other rather than getting a bit judgy about it and going, oh, that person's weird, or look at how they type, or look at how they sound, or look at how they look. And, you know, I think that's why the greater, you know, online or even just in-person autism community is just so good, and so welcoming for other people. You don't even need to be autistic to have a great time hanging out with autistic people. I think the double empathy problem is maybe a little bit overstated. I think autistic people and ADHDers are great with everyone for the most part. Hot take.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And like when you were talking about like reading comments so quickly, like there's actually like a certain type of font that like if people bold certain things that it helps you
dyslexic
get through
font.
it quicker or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree, because like even when I kind of like connected with Quinn, I was like, hey man, what do you prefer? Like, you know, I was like, hey, here's my preferred communication. And he hopped onto that because he wanted to accommodate me. And I was like, okay, but like, please don't feel pressured to meet my communication needs. Like, I will email you. Do you prefer that? Because you seem to email a lot, you know? And he was like, anyways, we just like, we are so accommodating of each other. And by the way, I was just like so super jealous that I wasn't able to be there. But I did get a quick video from you guys, like saying hi, and I excitedly came
that video,
home.
by the way. Like, no, because Quinn's, because I'm like, oh, you know, who's that? And she's like, oh, that's Jen. And I'm like, as in like neurodivergent. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, hi. It's like, I thought you were live. I thought you were actually on it for a second. So I'm like, okay. Okay.
No, but like
acting like an
I
idiot.
came home
Okay.
and I excitedly like showed my husband. I was like, look, Mike and Quinn are together and they're talking to me. Like I was like a 12-year-old that like caught up with the ice cream truck. I don't know if you guys have ice cream trucks out there, but that's what I felt like. I was like, look, they're talking to me and they're together in the flesh right now.
Yeah, it was just really, really good. And it's just like, I don't know, it's weird for me because you've previously met up with Taylor Heaton, right? Did you see Taylor at an event? I mean, wasn't that like really strange because you get to see her in 3D after not, and then it's like Quinn waited for me in my hotel lobby, right? And I walked around the hotel lobby, and I messaged him, and I'm like, "Are you in the right building? Are you in like a different building?" And he's like, "No, I'm in the hotel lobby." And I walked in again the other way around, and I'm like, this strange sort of like character from fiction. He looked like Terry Pratchett with a hat and this longer beard than it appears on the camera, and this stick, and he's all dressed in black, and he's sort of hunched over in the corner on this corner sofa in the dark. You know, obviously where you'd expect to find an autist, I guess. And you know, I'm like, oh, it's you. You're in 3D. And actually, I filmed that bit, so that film might come out at some point.
I hope it does, dude. I would love to see that. Yes, it is weird to see people in 3D, but I will tell you that as far as like Mom on the Spectrum went, it's weird because I'll feel more intrepidation about having a video like conference call with somebody than I would to meet in person.
100%.
And again, that just goes back to like different preferences or whatever. But meeting Mom on the Spectrum, she told me that it felt real weird to meet me in person, like so surreal. And I told her when I met her that it was just like I was seeing somebody that was like my next door neighbor that I had seen 100 times before. So I, you know, not to keep bringing things back full circle, but I feel like that's different like styles or whatever, that it was just like, wow, this is so weird. And I was like, it's not weird to me. It's cool. It's fine.
Yeah, the weirdness went away pretty quick. But it was, you know, it is strange to meet someone that you've sort of seen on the screen. Like, you know, I know saying it as a content creator, and it can be weird for other people as well, but like it was definitely really, really strange. When I went to England as well, I met Helen and family. Helen's in the chat right now, username Helen. Their family were absolutely fantastic. We hung out for a bit, and I delivered them a couple of kittens. So 2 of Hydra's kittens have gone to live with Helen and Family, which is really, really cool. Maurice and Salem, so a big tab cat. In fact, Hydra's biggest kitten. He's going to be huge.
Question: did you how did you transport those?
Oh, in the car.
How did you transport kittens?
In a great big, in the car in a great big crate. Yeah, they were really good. They were chill. I was kind of a bit worried about the boat because we've got like a 4-hour ferry ride to the mainland. And it's like, okay, are they going to be good? So I left the air conditioning on. I drive an electric vehicle, so I could leave the AC on. And I left them listening to an audiobook. And I'm scrolling on my phone because I left my phone in the car playing an audiobook. And it's like, what have I got? And Neurotribes by Steve Silberman. And I literally just put Neurotribes on for them. And so they just listened to Steve Silberman, just his dulcet tones for 4 hours.
You should have played them Cat in the Hat. I feel like they might have.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally should have done.
I mean, but there's value in playing them Neurotribes. You know, they're learning about their people and, you know, especially since they're going to another neurodivergent home. So that might have been good preparation for them. Hopefully they learned something. Yeah.
I mean, one thing I did play for them is I played the Hydra song. So I made a heavy metal song, it's sort of like a Hydra anthem. And I played that for them on the way down, knowing that Helen and Family would be playing it for them as well on the way down. So they're kind of like listening to their theme tune as they're traveling. Hele says, did your impressions of the other person change after meeting them in real life? For me, I can only answer that question three ways, which is obviously Thomas Henley. I met Thomas Henley as well. I'm going to move Emma before there's an explosion. Emma, be good. Okay. This could go one way or another. It was nice knowing you, Jen.
Please hold while Mike relocates his cat.
She's neurospicy, as they say, as Jax would say. No, it's yeah. I mean, Quint. No, it was amazing. Helen and Family. No, not at all. That felt completely weirdly natural and normal to me. I don't know if that's the same from Helen, your perspective as well. It's okay if it's not, you could say. But like we both pulled up to the same car park at the same time. And it was just like, oh, hi, how's it going? Which was just, really strange. And Thomas, with Thomas, it was slightly different because he was taller than I expected. What are you doing? Sorry, Saber. Yeah.
Well, and like when we're doing these YouTube videos, it's only like from here up, right? So it's hard to imagine what their dimensions are in the time-space continuum.
That's what Thomas did to me as well. Thomas's first words were, "You're taller than I expected," and I'm like, "You too, man." You too.
That's amazing. And I heard that you guys went to the gym and he
Right. So let me put it another way. So Monday is the busiest day in that particular gym. Monday is their big day. So all the people coming in after work, Monday evening, and there were spin classes on, and there was like people doing. There were loads of people in that building. It was huge. And Thomas was the biggest guy there. Like Thomas is ripped. You guys can't see it on camera because of I think he uses wide angle lenses, but if he used like a 50mm lens or something, you'd see how big he was. He's massive. And I went and I followed him for an entire workout set. And
you got to remember the age difference too, man. He's like in his 20s, mid to right.
But you know what? Actually, so gentle. It was really, really weird because we're in the gym, right? And then you finish moving some weights. I have to, Saber, come on, man. Why now? You do this every time I record a YouTube video as well. Every time. It's like after you finish the set and you're sort of moving your hands and you're flapping your hands. And I'm like, hey, Thomas, you shouldn't be flapping your hands in public, right? And we're just laughing at each other. They absolutely should. That's the joke. And he'd be taking weights off for me and then I'd be putting weights back on for him for his set and stuff. And it was really, really strange because like I'm spotting for him when he's doing his bench press routine. And you have to stand uncomfortably close to people when you're doing that. Like, so I'm standing over him and it's really, really weird because I can see his face. His face is about 2 inches away from my groin. Like that's how close we are. Okay.
That's what you got to do to get the reps in, man.
And I start getting the giggles, but I hold it in. And as soon as he finishes, I just said, like, Thomas, I didn't want to make a joke while you were working out. Because, by the way, he's lifting a lot of weight. He's lifting like 2 large adults on a bar. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's like, he's like, you could put like one adult on one end and one adult on the other end, and he's benching that. Meanwhile, I'm just benching like one weight on either side, you know, by comparison. And I'm like, hey, Thomas, I just thought, if I let that go, if I let that bar drop on you, I'd probably get more YouTube views.
I mean, it's not an untrue statement. You're just evaluating your options. Your logical brain took over and said, I shouldn't do that. But there's no harm in like having, they call that the call of the void, I think. It's like where you're like,
okay.
Yeah, I could do this awful thing. I probably shouldn't, but, you know.
But it's just funny. Like, you know, I often get sort of intrusive thoughts, and they're always quite amusing ones. You know, and sometimes I'll share them. And like, you know, obviously not while Thomas is benching this weight, you know, that I'd have to, you know, to sort of help him with, you know, to put it back. It's easier to pick a weight up than it is to push it. So yeah, that's how I was able to spot for him. In case you guys are wondering, my software developer arms were sufficient. Just.
Well, so we were having a little bit of internet issues like a second ago, so I don't know if I was glitching or if you were glitching, but I was saying, like, we got to remember, like, we're like 20 years older than this dude too, so I get winded walking up the stairs, not gonna lie. Like,
oh yeah, we did. We walked for miles that day, and it was quite nice. It's just really nice to kind of hang out as well and sort of see his spots and things, you know, like where he likes to go and where he likes to go to write and all that sort of stuff. And I think, like, from my perspective, I thought it was like super interesting to kind of indulge in someone else's special interest that might not be mine. Like I've got a voucher in my drawer. Like, Nina got me like a $200 voucher for our local gym. She got it for my 40th birthday. And I think the voucher, it must still be in date. It can't not be in date. It's quite a big voucher. And I haven't redeemed it yet. Because like the gym is not my special place. And, you know, but for Thomas, it really is. Like, he has to go there. It's like it grounds him and stuff. Yeah. And it was just great to just sort of go there and experience that, you know, experience another person, you know, another autist going through that sort of stuff. And he was constantly checking on me, asking if I was okay and stuff. And, you know, I was all right. I had my earbuds in.
And so you were like, quit insulting me, man. I'm fine. But on the inside, you were like...
Yeah, exactly. But like, I'll definitely have to take him diving. If he wants to come to the Isle of Man, I'll take him diving.
Right. Let's see how this fish does out of his own water.
Exactly.
That would be a good time. Yeah. But I'm telling you, man, so I was telling Quinn, I was like, okay, so here's the thing. I said, a little bit of me is like even more jealous of you guys all hanging out in like, was it Bristol, right? Or
Bristol for Quinn, yeah. And then Yorkshire, which is like the other end of the country. In the UK, you can drive the whole country in a day. So,
gosh, that is not the case here. But you know, I was like, to be honest, like, that is my heritage and where my people are from. So maybe I'm the fish out of water over here in the US. Like, maybe I need to come back to the UK.
Oh yeah.
Because I've got some strong genetic links to the UK. So maybe I'm just like, I'm out of sorts here in the US. I shouldn't be here. I should be hanging out with my autistic brothers and sisters in the UK. Because isn't Sam there too?
I think Sam is actually, I switched sides because I just turned my camera off and back on again because people were saying I was a bit blurry. So hopefully that's better.
You are still blurry, but I mean, I think they know the general idea of you.
It should hopefully, there's not much to see right now, if it helps. As long as you can hear me, that's kind of the critical thing. There's like, and by the way, a little bit of blurry, it kind of helps. Like, it helps with the skin, right? Smooths the skin a little bit. But so like, no, Sam, I think she's in Europe. I think Sam is not. I mean, she's from England, but I think she's in Belgium or the Netherlands or something. I think she's actually.
Netherlands sounds about right.
Yeah, Netherlands, Southern. There you go. Yeah, Sam is Netherlands. Yeah. So like, I do like the idea of like a meetup at some point. That'd be cool, but it'd have to be like multiple ones. Because you've got to get like Colorado. There's quite a few peeps in Colorado. We definitely have to do something Colorado side, or at least Colorado and the UK, but with like a live stream between the two, like a portal.
Well, my husband has been talking about initiating he wants to do a autism world tour. Like, this is how much he supports me. It's so sweet. He wants to come and meet like you and Thomas and Quinn, because like, you know, we could kind of knock that out in one meet and greet, right?
Get the
And
autistic parts done first.
in the US, it's a little bit easier. You know, I could go visit Claire from Woodshed Theory. As a matter of fact, she was so sweet. She like messaged me like, "Hey, you could come and visit me like right now. Like plane tickets are this much." You know, and Mom on the Spectrum, I've already met her, but it would be cool to go and hang out with her. You know, there's tons of creators out in Australia. Like I'd love to meet up with Orion. So like I'm like he wants to do an autism world tour. So you know, we'll see if that's in the budget. He I listened to, like, you guys were talking about comedians before I hopped on, and I listened to a comedian called Nate Bargatze, and he talks about how in any marriage there is one who is a dreamer, and then there's a one who is a fun killer, because somebody has to be like, you know, have some sense of fun, and the other person, but you can't have two like dreamers, because then you'd go broke in a day, right? And so like I'm on the logical side that's like, no, honey, we can't afford this.
I think between Nina and I, we're probably both on the dreamer side of things there a little bit. Yeah. So like, yeah, I'd be like, hey, Nina, I'm gonna go and like be some YouTubers. You're like, cool, do it. Like,
no, he's the one that's the dreamer. I'm the fun killer, because I'm the one that's like,
you're the fun police. No way. I'd never have thought.
Budgeteer. Yeah.
Okay, right. So we call that the dream crusher. No, but like it'd be really cool if you like, you don't even need to come to the Isle of Man. Well, you can if you want to. You're perfectly welcome to come and stay. But like, if we arrange something in the UK, yeah, cool. I know the other YouTubers would be up for it. It'd be amazing. Yeah, it'd be so much fun. Yeah. All right. Be like, well, good.
You and Nina got a spare room I could come hang out in, because it's
as long as you're comfortable. As long as you're comfortable either sleeping underneath like a dozen cats or taking antihistamines. You know, if you're allergic, you'd be right. I mean,
I'm allergic, so I'm going to be high on antihistamines.
I get hay fever, so you know, we've got air purifiers, but like, yeah, there's a lot of cats. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, man, it's been fun. I have to go pick up my prodigy, my offspring.
Say hello to him from me.
I will. I got to tell you a quick story before I leave. It was so sweet because, like, you know, I picked because he has one friend, and him and his mother and I, you know, we trade weeks, like doing the carpool thing. And I picked him up yesterday, and he got something called an RP at school, which is like a no-no. And he's only gotten one other in his entire school career, which was last year in 6th grade. He's in 7th grade now. And the only reason he got one in 6th grade was because everybody in the class got one, you know, because he's such a rule follower. The only reason he got one this time was because other kids were being rowdy, and he kept trying to be the teacher and telling them to be quiet. But the teacher was like, no, that's my job, so stop it.
He was policing them. Yeah.
And so this was like the lesson we had to teach him on the way home. Like, well, honey, you're not the teacher. I know you want those kids to be quiet and pay attention and listen, but you know, you can't overstep the teacher. It was like,
I can imagine him being like, no.
Apparently he told them 3 times to be quiet. So yes, these are the fun challenges of parenting an autistic child, when you have to tell them like
he's an autistic child with buckets of support, love, and confidence. Like you couldn't ask for more. So like, you know, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, so that's the little guy I'm gonna go and get.
Okay,
get better.
Thanks for popping in, Jen. Thanks for carrying me on this stream while I've been feeling a bit crappy. So thank you so much for that. This is why you need friends with ADHD, by the way. Everybody, just a little life lesson there. Just a tip. Peace out, Jen. Take care.
Bye, guys. Mwah!
Bye. That was Jen from Neurodivergent. How's it going? How's that for an impromptu guest? Does that sound cool? Do you guys want another one? Right, hang on. Hopefully we're still good, right? We should still be good. We should still be good. We're still good, right? We're still good? Cool. We're still good, right? Hopefully. Hope things are good. Bring back the kitties, please. So I've got Sabre just behind me. Thanks, Scott. Thank you. Oh, amazing, 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 amazing. Thank you all for doing that, by the way, for hanging about. And Jen reminds me so much of my mum. Aw, you look like you're underwater. No. I think you're a little too close up to the next guest. You're blowing no more. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, everyone. It's good to just test some technicals out and just make sure that things are working properly as well. It's like I'm being genuinely serious, by the way. Dropping in a message to Jen saying, hey, any chance you could drop on stream with me? Because I'm feeling shit. She's like, wow, you're brave. And she was like, I'm going to be driving. So it's like, maybe for later. It's like, whenever you like, here's a link. I've especially missed you, that you, blah, blah. I blow-led you. I definitely did not blow-led. No, no blocked. No blocked whatsoever. Estine, stops being a bit quiet. Hey, it's okay. Literally dragging a string in front of my cats to entertain them. Well, that is actually really on point. That is very good. The kittens are growing a lot. It's fully sleepy day today. Maurice can keep his eyes open. Oh, that's amazing. Love to see Jen. If there's a world tour in your TARDIS or transport beam. Yeah, do you know what? Do you know what is kind of like slightly nice about the internet? So it kind of makes the world a bit smaller, but then also like to meet up in person is also really, really nice. Do you know what I mean? Thessel, she's awesome, and I always read her handle as neurodivergent. You're as a neurodiver, Mike. Thanks, Thessel. Sharp and shiny. Sharp and shiny. Amazing. I've also managed to figure out now what's causing it. So I think when I have a little glitch in the internet, like my sort of bandwidth, or maybe a small little outage, we've got a storm going on at the minute. We often have storms going on. So that's the fun for being on an island. Oh, thank you all for being so lovely to Jen. Auti sleepovers, yeah. It's quite nice. Micah's 1980s VHS home movie AF. Oh, sorry, that's, yeah. So I think actually refreshing my feed, literally stopping my stream and restarting it like really quickly, kind of fix it. Jackie, just chill. So we've got a auto mod. Quite a lot of streamers use auto mods, but YouTube also does its own thing. For a long while, by the way, I'm not sure who mentioned it right at the start of the stream, but I had an issue with my own account. So I would be on Jen's stream, or I'd be on Thomas's stream, or Claire's. I'd mention something, any of the other assist YouTubers too, it doesn't matter who, and no one would see my messages. And it's almost like the only thing YouTube had to go on at the time when my account was new was the word autistic or AF, right? So was YouTube kind of like suppressing my messages because of the word autistic, or was it AF? I think possibly the word autistic. A bit like, you know, I don't know. It's not a rude word. Autistic, autistic, autistic. Autism, autism, autism. They're not difficult words to say, but I do remember when I did find it quite difficult to say myself. It was a little bit like, you know, hey, 21 Kittens, how's it going? You just missed a guest, but I have another one. Autistic autofocus. Autistic autofocus. I'm just queuing up another guest. A guest who has not been on a stream before. Jason, how's it going? Harry Winterbank, yeah, I think it might be you that made the comment. A greeting got flagged on Thomas's live today. Right. YouTube's trying to raise us. I think YouTube gets a bit funny about the word autism or autistic And it's really, really weird. Is it Elmo? I hope it's Elmo. Japards, unfortunately, autistic is being used as a bad word as insult in some circles. This is why YouTube adjusted their own auto moderator. Yeah, I think so. My Pokemon handle ends with AF, and I'm very fond of mildly contained spicy sentiment AF evokes. Me too. Me too. Me too. Right. I am going to... What are you doing? What are you doing, Saber? Right. We're going to test something. Small little technical test. Everyone hang about. Everyone's spamming the word autistic. Amazing. Like, this shouldn't be an insult. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a word. I haven't made any content on that topic yet. But I just hope that in general, just by making noise about autism, it's not this like weird thing that people can't say for some reason. And it certainly is not an insult. Saber says he's got a test for it. Yeah, Saber likes to push things off the table, and it worries me sometimes. I know in the online gaming spaces, autism is used a lot. But I you know what? I don't know why autism would be used. Like, if you were to say someone's autistic, like, you know, the special interest is this video game, and they absolutely love playing it, you know, they'll probably be damn good at it. Kind of be scary. If you were scared of the word autism, yeah, I mean, I just have to think back to my own notes and my own journal about the time when I was worried about, you know, calling myself autistic. I definitely was stressed about it quite a bit. I had more trouble with people saying I'm not autistic. I'd be thrilled if they said I was. Jason. General Lotta, nihilistic scouts unfortunately use autistic as an insult. Oh, acoustic. Oh, right. Yeah, there's that one too. Yeah, acoustic. I've told them to stop it, and I've noticed they still say it when they think I don't hear it. Yeah, I think that's partly being young, General. I think the issue is, like, it does seem to come from like younger communities, right? Because like autistic is used in the dive community informally in a really complimentary way. So, for example, I remember I was on a dive boat and somebody needed like a certain type of washer of a certain millimeter depth. Look, hey, this isn't my thing, right? I don't service stuff. I wouldn't. I know that I could, right? I know that if it were my special, you know, my passion, I was super into it, that I'd be really good at it. But I don't service bits and pieces, life-saving equipment. But someone that does is like, you need a, and then when you need a 3.5 millimeter, and someone said, you're so autistic. And it's said in a really lovely way. People feel warm about it. And it's always meant in like a good, you know, if you get something right that's really, really quite nerdy like that, it's a really positive thing. Like, I think acoustic is quite a funny self-reference. I don't know if we should use it anymore. I don't know. Hey, don't look at me to police stuff, by the way. Of course, someone on the internet who just keeps going around and like writing about me saying I'm woke scolding. I didn't even realize I was woke. I don't even know that that's necessarily a bad thing, even if I was. I'm just autistic. It's so funny watching people who are uncomfortable saying autistic, having to say it. Harriet, I'm with you there. I think that is funny. Really funny. I'm going to refill my tea because I think Tea Fairy is being a little bit lax. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show a 2-minute, it's going to give me 2 minutes, 120 seconds break screen. There may be adverts shown. If they are, don't feel like you need to watch them, but just leave them running. I will be back in 2 minutes. No one will miss a thing. We have a special guest come in. So stay tuned for that, because it is actually legitimately a special guest on the way.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden. I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things.
Did that work? Oh gosh, hello. Like, hey everybody. Oh man, Emma. I love you, Emma. I do. You're a good girl, but I really don't want you here right now. Emma, this is a live stream. Emma, it's a live stream. Emma. Okay, Emma is very neurospicy. How's it going, everyone? Did that work, by the way? 2 minutes? Just gonna do a little search there. I think acoustic's fine if it's used as a joke with us. But if it's about us, often negative, and I don't like it. Basically laughing at us. Yeah, you're right. Totally. Emma, stay. Is Emma staying? Emma, beautiful. Let her sing, please. You don't want me to... No, I do. She's a good girl. She's just... She's very spicy. This is the very spicy one. She wants to sing her beautiful song of her people. Emma, stay. Okay. Pretty countdown. Nice. But Emma loves live streams. She does. Emma does love live streams. Okay, just filling in full guest. Okay, Emma. Pound Shop Jamie, you have missed out on a new thing. Emma says, please, she does. Hey, Yannicka, how's it going? Hope you're feeling better. I'm feeling really crap. What? You do make me feel better. You do. Spicy. Emma, very spicy. Autistic Nana, amazing name. Don't sag the tea fairy. Emma and her purr is your special guest. It was like 2 minutes. Maurice hit up, stretched, and yawned and flopped. She wants her pets. She does. She wants everything. Emma and her purr. So we currently have Emma and purr while we're waiting for special guests to arrive. Emma. This is an Emma interlude. What? I can't... Do you want to cuddle? But she might attack me on the stream. That's the problem. Emma, you have people watching you. You do. 93 now. Oh, Emma. We have a guest coming. You good, like 21 kittens. Oh my god, she's too precious. I can't even. She's a good girl, but she attacks me every single time. Emma. She's like my senior cat Tossie, says Lady P. She's lived with my dad for years. She's very spicy. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not going to sing the nearest spicy song because my voice. I'm trying to save my voice right now. Emma says, love me right now. Exactly. Emma, hello. This is where it gets quiet. And it gets quiet because we're waiting for our guest to join. They're a little bit tardy, but that's okay. No, it's all good actually. I need some time to rest my voice for a moment. Is it going to be a Dan? Maybe. Autistic mode. So, very quickly, who's new? Who's new to the stream that hasn't been here before? Megan, I think you're new. Am I right? If you are, welcome. I have just washed my hands, so I will shake your hand. If you want to, you don't have to. But if you do, there you go. Nice to meet you. Stigma Salabasta. Ah, welcome. It's good to see you here. We're all admiring Emma. Emma is doing the stream. It's Emma's stream. She loves intensely, by the way. So it's not like she's always like spicy. She's just very intense. Emma says she's Mew. Realm's stupid. I joined the first time. I always watch a video, but I've seen it. First time we've seen live, right? So I clicked. Welcome. Good to see you too as well. Anna. Welcome, Anna. We so one of Hydra's kittens, a tortie, the small one, she has been called Anna. I can't remember off the top of my head right now who named her Anna on the stream, but one of you named her because she's got this little white bit, like a light bit here. So she's Anna from Frozen. She is. Sidewinder, I've definitely seen your name before. That might be new. Watched about 8 of your videos yesterday. 8! Sometimes the nursery was nice. You watched 8 of the videos. There's got to be a price for that. There has to be. Yeah, Anna's an amazing name. I can get Anna for you. Who else is new? Welcome to all the new people. Welcome. So it's not normally like this, by the way. This is my 6th stream. I am just sick, as in, what would the young millennials say? Emma gets overstimulated and attacks. Yeah, well, I don't know. She's incredibly passionate, this one. Jan, nice to meet you. Oh, you just subscribed. Nice one. Thank you, Ral. It's lovely to have you. I'm going to just... Anna from Frozen Norwegian. Indeed. Do you know what? It was a few years ago now. I made Nina watch Frozen, and I said, this is the movie of your people. I made her watch it, and I sang along to all the songs. Love is an open door. I can't do it. My voice is buggered. Love is an open door with you. Okay, I won't move you then. You want the super cat feeder to go off? 1 second. Emma does have unusually soft fur. She has very beautiful. I haven't seen the second one, Ellie, but I definitely would. I've watched the first one quite a bit. I'm watching you through Maurice's ears. What does Honey, I Shrunk the Autism? It's a movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, from the 80s or the early 90s. Was she Russian blue? Kind of. She's not technically a posh cat. She's like a British blue. Is that Anna? It's Anna! Anna? Okay. Anna, meet Anna. Don't go launching yourself.
Licky stick is open.
Okay, is that not a comfy position to be in?
She's confused.
She is confused. It's not.
Confused very easily.
Can I give it back to you?
Oh, you don't want her.
I do want her. You're lovely. I think she wasn't a fan of being held like that. She did put her foot in it. I've got the rest of the Licky Stick in here. She loves Licky Stick. Talk to you, baby. Belle, you new here? Welcome. So, I have my elder Torty on my lap watching the next... Ah, nice. Hey everyone, did you see that like button over there? I'm living for these video titles. 1 second, sorry. I'm just nursing myself right now. I'm going to just... Okay. You guys ready for a guest? Mariella, hello. Guest UK. Yes, Torty is a tortoise shell. I've got to love a spot of cat Pete D. Is there any cat that doesn't like Licky Stick? No, I think they all like it. You all ready? All right, let me finish my lozenge. I'm finally glad to catch a live. Yeah, it's lovely you're here, Belle. So this live is a little bit later than normal. Harriet. Don't know, can you? Sorry, you have to give me a second. I've got a... I guess Meg. Ooh. So... Red Jen, congratulations. Claire, maybe. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. I would like to, while we're waiting, by the way, just to say, I'm tempted to reach out to get maybe Fern Brady or Chris Packham. I reckon they would be interested. It's just Jen again. It's not Jen. We're just waiting for Mike to finish his lozenge. 21 kittens, that's correct. That is exactly what we're waiting for. Hello, people of the internet. Hello, people of the... Thank you. A couple of fingers there. Hello, people of the internet. I am going to present to you a guest, a mysterious guest from the depths of the the depths of the underworld, from the depths of the gymnasium. I present to you Thomas Henley.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Thomas.
I have crawled out of my gym cave and rushed over to join the street. Oh. Wow, it's very professional here.
Thank you
very much. Unlike my streams, I would say.
How's it going? I love Thomas. Getting a lot of love here. This is for those who do not know, this is Thomas Henley. And do you know what's really, really weird? I don't think you've been on this channel yet. I think this is your first time. Helping me out while
we've done some sort of
we've collabed
cameo thingies, but I need to try and insert you somewhere in one of my videos.
Yes, the autism asshole video. Yeah, yes. Do you know what? That was a brilliant cameo. Like, I enjoyed that so much. I wasn't even sure if you'd do it because I was like, you're gonna like.
Somehow.
I'm like, you just do a cameo, yeah, man. What do you want? And it's like, I want you to say, Mike, did you say asshole?
Of course, that was just a one take thing. No, just off the cuff. No, it wasn't.
How was your gym sesh? Says Harriet.
That was my gym sesh.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Painful, but good. Most of the time, that comes hand in hand. But I've been trying to, I guess, because I've been scaling back my gym so that I can do my Muay Thai and stuff. I got 3 days a week that I can gym, so I have to squeeze as much as I can in, as possible. So
Okay.
I'm dead. I'm dead. My
He's not.
pectorals are finished.
He's here. He's not dead. He's still here. Yeah. So when you're not Muay Thaiing and you're not gymming and you're not meeting up with random YouTubers, what are you doing? What does? So I'm just seeing the comments there. Autistic hugs to two of the guys. Help me feel like I see voices I understand online. Oh, you're welcome. Oh wow, Thomas appears.
I see Eagle. And Jackie, Isabella.
Ah, good. You can see the comments. That's brilliant. Okay, that will save my voice a little bit. I'm going to just neck a couple of painkillers.
Are you okay?
I picked up a disease, somewhere in England, some respiratory. No, it's okay. Don't feel concerned. It's all right. It's just like a cough. I've got like a really horrible kind of cough and sore throat.
It might be the gym. It's
You reckon?
sadly a lot of maybe.
I mean, it could be. I mean, thing is, I work from home and like I don't see that many people, like day to day. So like my immune system is probably trash.
Yes. No, I get the same when I go on holiday and stuff. It's if there's a bug going around, I know that it's going around because I tend to get it, which is irritating. Yeah,
but at least in the UK, it was okay. It was good. Folks keep asking me about the gym session that I did. It comes up in conversation all the time, and it was good actually. I really enjoyed it. I learned so much. I learned absolutely tons. I've got a set of weights sitting down there on the floor. So we should do like a dumbbell session at some point when I'm not coughing my lungs out.
Yes.
And
I
wish.
I watched your can't remember what the title of the video was, but I watched one of your videos which you talked about like the emotional regulation aspect of that situation where we couldn't get into the car park. I thought that was a really good. It was a really good example.
I just thought it was quite funny at the time. It's just sort of, I was like, here you go. This is like an autistic AF experience in IRL sort of thing. It's just disassociation. That's all it is. It gets me through everything.
Did you guys film the gym session? We do have an actual a video, don't we?
We do.
We got you on the bicep machine.
We got like little clips, but it was quite busy. And I think folks don't want to be sort of filmed. So, if you're a bit quieter, maybe we should do it again. I'm up for doing it again. I keep thinking Thomas got an AF tattoo.
No, I got some tattoos recently.
Oh, nice.
Got a Naruto tattoo.
It looks a bit like a good feather too, actually, which is kind of like extra bonus.
Yeah, it's a crow under an eye.
Birds are amazing.
It's still healing, and it's a little bit itchy at the moment. So
I know
I've got to keep my mind off it.
I keep thinking about finishing off my tattoos, which I don't think I've shown on stream. Actually, I have shown them on stream before, but it's like when you do that, you can't then like go swimming or like go in the sea or anything. You've got to leave it for like a couple of weeks because it's like a big open wound, really.
It's like that's the worst part. It's like I had to take a week off Muay Thai, and I went back yesterday.
Okay.
And I was dying.
And you're like really, really bad. John Lotta, Mike, you have tattoos? Yes. Yeah, cat-themed tattoos. I should do a tattoo reveal video at some point.
You should. I think that would be a really interesting thing to talk about because it's obviously a very sensory experience, and
Hey,
it's
that's an interesting
the
angle.
needles and
It's not all that unpleasant. Like there is pain on like when it's kind of like near a bone, right? But like it's not all that bad. And some people get kind of I could see how it can happen. How you could get like really addicted to getting tattoos, like from a sensory perspective. I was feeling really faint on my first tattoos. I was so anxious and kind of excited and anxious that I forgot to eat. And I literally had to like neck some Lucozade because I was like, you know, and so the second time I went back, I was like, right, I'm ready. I'm just loaded on sugar. Let's do it. But it didn't.
It hurts quite a bit for the first 10 minutes. Not gonna lie, but
first 10 minutes.
After a while, it's.
And then when it's on a bone, when it gets like to a bit where there's like bone, like quite close on the, you know, there's no like fat or whatever or muscle. But like just generic kind of skin, it's actually. Stephanie Alexandra, I have some big tattoos. I found it very cathartic. Yeah, it's strange. I don't know how to describe it.
I'm scared of needles, so I'll probably never get one. I have a real big needle phobia, and I have a very low pain tolerance. So if you wanted to, you could go get one.
Yeah, you could.
I
Did you put like pain gel on or anything? Because I didn't. I was advised not to as well. Like they were like, it like heals better. Just be clean basically, and then just keep it clean afterwards. Like use baby whatever. Can't remember what it was, but there was some like nappy cream type stuff that I used for the first few days afterwards. And cling film. But like the actual tattoos itself, like the actual thing, it's kind of. It's weird feeling because it's not unpleasant. Like it like hurts for a bit to begin with, and then whenever they're on a bone or whatever, and then my tattoo artist was saying, like this bit's going to hurt. Like the next 10 minutes are going to be a bit painful, you know, because it's going to be on on like a bit of bone or whatever. But like most of just this normal skin, it's like scratchy, but
it's
weird.
I find like I got around the whole needle phobia thing by like thinking of it as sort of like a little electric shocker, because it's sort of I can visualize it as that, and it actually helped quite a bit.
And it doesn't look like needle. Well, it is needles. Like if you look up close, but like it's like it doesn't really look like a needle exactly per se. It almost looks like a metal brush or like a marker pen type of thing. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. I'm kind of tempted to go back and finish one of my tattoos now. I've got a couple which are kind of mostly there. But I had a color issue. So basically on my right leg, lower down, I've got a cat looking through a telescope with my favorite star constellation behind. And when I got to the tattoo office, they'd like laid out all the colors, and they were like, "Oh, so you want a galaxy?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want a galaxy. I want the M45 Pleiades star cluster. Here it is. Look, on my phone. I want this." And they laid out like pinks and greens, and I'm like, stars aren't green. Like we don't have green stars. And they were like, "Oh," and they were like, "I thought you wanted it like this." And a lot of like ladies go in and get this what they call a galaxy design, and it's like, yeah, like that, but with scientifically accurate colors, please. So I'm like, I want to. Do you know what? It's quite funny because I've never thought about that through the autism lens, but yeah, that's definitely autistic.
Well, I mean, I used to have a real issue when it came to dentists and hairdressers. Those were the two places that I would like as a kid, and to be honest, as a teen, maybe in adulthood as well, in some situations, have a really tough time with. I don't really remember much like I can recall from my childhood, but I can definitely recall sort of being at a hairdresser's and it just feeling like this sort of demonic hellscape, like noises and like people, and it's the sort of white fluorescent lights and people tugging at my sensitive little scalp, you know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. That's not an uncommon experience, actually. Fortunately, like on the Isle of Man, like because it's like we've got really low population density. Usually, if I go to the hairdressers, like any of them, they're all essentially empty. You're like the only person in there, or people, because it's kind of a village kind of thing over here. They like know you, and they'll be like, "Hey, Mike, have you been diving?" And then like they'll want to talk to me about diving for half an hour, which is fine. But maybe they get a bit more information than they're expecting. So it usually goes one or two ways. Either sit in silence, which is my preferred option, or, "Oh, so have you been diving anywhere nice recently?" And actually, the answer this particular year is kind of no. It's been a very undivey year for me this year, but I'll be back into it pretty soon. At least when I've shaken off this cold thing.
I imagine that's a very sensory experience.
When it's when they're kind of quiet. I think do you know what? The Isle of Man's actually quite a nice place. It's very autism friendly, actually. Thank you very much. We've got a lot of old Aspies that retire here. Actually, I found recently. Sorry, T Fairy's passing me things. Oh, look at that! She's passed me things I don't really need, but still nice to have.
Thank you, T Fairy.
Yeah. I got some Sudafed there, but it's not necessary right now. But I'll move Saber's leg. He's on the audio. Yep. Maybe this. Sorry, guys. Everybody needs a tea fairy. Mm-hmm. Orion is my favorite constellation too. It's my childhood friend. Never left me. We showed up when the world got dark and truly beautiful. That instantly tells me you're in the northern hemisphere. Yeah, Orion is beautiful. In fact, actually, in the middle of Orion's belt. Actually, we used to say at our old astronomy club that Orion's it's kind of Orion's willy, like Orion's dick. It's actually not really stars. They're actually star clusters. They're actually stellar nurseries. When you use like binoculars, it resolves into this sort of blurry stuff. And if you use a phone or a camera to get a picture, you get the most beautiful colors. It's a big stellar nursery. I see TJ.
I haven't. I've never really sort of doven. Is that a word? Doven into astrology.
You can do dove.
I was going to say astrology.
Astronomy. Oh wow, you're going to trigger some people in the chat. So.
I'm not a fan of. I'm not really a fan of looking at stars. It's not.
Have you tried?
Like astrology.
Have you tried, Thomas? Right, when we get you out here. It's so dark. It's pretty dark where you're at as well. You're not in London, so in London you see the moon, not much else.
Oh, I'll definitely be up for it. That's there's so many things to do on this earth. Like it's been something that I've been pondering over these weeks. It's like I want to do everything. I wish there was, just an extra 4 hours in the day.
Yeah,
just an extra 4 hours.
I wish I didn't have to sleep.
Yeah,
I think that's why I stay up late at night. It started from university, getting into the culture of staying up late, and then it's never left. It's never gone. And I sometimes catch your live streams. Sometimes you're literally body double me as I'm going to bed. We'll be on at like 2 a.m. or something. And it's like, wow, Thomas is up late.
I really relate to that actually. It's I've had like a weird fear of time passing, which I think is normal because it's like what's the phrase? Something memento. Remember the end. I don't know what words I can use on live streams. Memento mori, I believe. And it freaks me out. And I stay up late. I used to stay up late a lot because I was concerned that the day was over and that it would be a new day.
Yeah, me too. I relate to that. No, it doesn't sound daft at all. That is exactly how I am.
I'm not ready.
Yeah, it's almost like the childish sort of Christmas thing, and it's like it's still Christmas Day, or like it's still my birthday, or like it's still that day. And like for me, like the weekend, it'd be like, I don't want Monday to come, so it's still Sunday. It's when you start doing your age in terms of 20, and then it's like you're 28, 29. And instead of being 30, you're 2010, and then 2011 and 23. Do you know what I mean? Yes. You're still sort of holding on to something that's good. And I don't like missing out on stuff. And I just I don't want to sleep. I just want to stay awake. And
that's a very common.
Close my eyes.
I think that's something that I've heard from other autistic people as well. Because our sometimes our teenage experiences can be so hectic that we don't really. We dissociate and we don't really sort of experience our teenagehood properly. And then
I feel that
getting
way.
into our 20s, we do try to have that experience.
I feel
And
like I
then-
didn't experience my 20s properly as well. And, you know, it's like, you know, part of that might be because I was staying up late a lot. So, like that probably has some sort of bar to do with it. But like, I don't like time to pass too fast. And, you know, there's so much to do. I've got like, I always say to people, like, if I'm ever like, I don't know, like I'm not like worth anything to be abducted, but like if I were kidnapped, like I'm in trouble word would be I'm bored, because I'm just like not bored. There's just stuff all the time, you know, that I'm just sort of either, I just don't like being bored. So I'm just constantly, I'll clean out the fish tank, or I'll jump from one thing to another, or I'll play a game, or I'll watch TV, or I'll play with the cats, or I'll jump around. Go for a swim.
I get very bored resting and doing fun stuff. I always need to be doing things. It's a fine balance, because I kind of need to make myself a little bit bored on the weekend to know that I have rested enough to take on the rest of the next week. Do you know what I mean? Like
I was reading about that rest and sleep recently. You know, again, it's always with a view to making content, which is another weird thing in my life right now, which is I can't ever read anything without going, how can I make content out of this?
Yeah.
But ignoring that, sorry, it's like you have to actually have time in your day or in your week, or at least you have to have regular time where you are bored. It's actually really good for you, because it's actually a way of your brain sort of starting to process, because you'll never process the stuff that you're doing or experiencing if you don't have that downtime, because we're constantly always on and go.
No, sure.
But then again, I don't get bored, so I try and give myself some time off, and I just sort of sit there staring at a wall, and then an hour will pass. And I do genuinely mean that. I literally will stare at a wall, and then it's like I'm now really, really bored, and I'll start to fidget, I'll start to move, and it's like, you know, I can't do it. And I know some folks would say meditate, but I can do the mindfulness thing, but like, I'm constantly like, hey, I'm doing this with my pen right now. I'm doing that, trying to not make a noise on the microphone. So I'd cross my arms or sit on my hands. Come on, guys, who sits on your hands to stop, fidgeting? That school experience. Why are you sitting on your hands? That's weird. You're touching your bum. No, I'm not. I'm sitting on my hands to stop them from moving. Staring at a wall is life changing. Yeah.
You're ADHD, aren't you? Like,
pretty confident on the ADHD, but I haven't been formally assessed for ADHD. In fact, my autism assessment was via a team that specialised in adult autism. But when I say adult autism, what I mean is they don't work with children. They're 100% adults, not because it's different to infantile autism, that old chestnut, the thing that just fades away on your, when your teeth come through, that sort of thing. But no, so that also saved me a little bit of money too. So it's just autism. They did touch on ADHD, but it wasn't about that. ADHD would have cost more essentially. Should have got the bucket deal. Should have gone for the extra value meal and got the side of ADHD with my fries.
Yeah, the meal deal.
Get the full meal deal. But now I'm thinking as an opportunity, and again, it's just content again as well. But so I do have trouble, obviously, staying on task, and I'm very forgetful when I leave things. And as you know, some of our time in England was trashed because of my forgetfulness. And also, when I went to film with Quinn, I'm like. I left Quinn for ages, while I was searching for microphones, and I'm like, where are the microphones? And it's like I just left them in the hotel room and I forgot them. That's why we filmed it on my phones. And the ADHD thing is, but autism for me, at least, I don't want to say autism is a superpower. Don't judge me, by the way, when I put out a video about that. They have to be a little bit clicky. They have to be intriguing.
Yes. Oh, always. But I completely get that. It's like I know that I've done a good video when the only the negative comments that the really negative comments that come in are about the title.
Yeah, I know. But then also you guys are so lovely as well. I posted a video, what was it, on Sunday, and I forget how long it was. I think it was 17 minutes or something. Let's just say 17 minutes. And it had so many comments within the first 10 minutes. And it's like, even though you're all really, really lovely, there's no chance in hell any of you watch the video, because it's just not possible unless you've got time.
Well, maybe they speed it up. Maybe they're like...
Oh, shit, yeah, All right, okay, all right. I'll take that back. I definitely watch things a quarter faster. So yeah, ADHD. I now have an opportunity anyway. Maybe I don't really have the opportunity. I don't know. Got to find someone first. I'd love to do a ADHD assessment and have it recorded or have it documented or filmed.
I remember you saying.
Yeah, I just because obviously I think a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists might run from that request. I think they'd be very unhappy to do it. I'm happy to share what I'm happy to share. I might have to like blur out a couple of bits or something if it's super personal or whatever. But more or less, I'm using my experience and knowledge as you know, like you are too, Thomas, as an education platform. I think it could be really, really good to kind of demystify an ADHD assessment a little bit.
Sure.
So I am at some
Don't
point,
read up on too much on how it's done.
well, I got accused of reverse engineering an autism assessment.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, I'm gonna. I think we would need to do a reenactment, yeah, possibly later. But I think it would be really, really useful. But whatever can be shown, you know, I'll show, and I'll share whatever I can share.
No, I think that would be really interesting. I
think it could it could be interesting.
I wish well, I mean, I don't tend to talk a lot about. I have done stuff around ADHD, but I don't tend to create sort of original content around it because I don't have sort of lived experience with it.
Mm-hmm. Layla P, no, the assessor didn't accuse me. It was a family member. You're gonna just, you know, reverse engineer us. It's like, well, kind of, yeah. Fair enough. I mean, yes, I probably am.
You're going to be an autistic person who is masking as a holistic person who is masking as an autistic person.
Yes. I got a 10 out of 10 on the autism test.
Yeah.
NHS referred me for assessment in 2019. I haven't heard anything since real there. That, by the way, Estine, that is definitely too long. The waiting lists are long, but they're not that long.
No, it shouldn't be that long.
You're looking at, you know, worst case right now is about 3 years, you know. So you could have probably done it like twice in that time. So definitely chase that up a bit. For me, the irony, by the way, is when I've worked as a freelance software engineer for 20 years, and one of the systems I worked on was the NHS Choose and Book system. It used to be called Choose and Book. This was part of the National Programme for IT. And I didn't realize that's what I was working on. I just applied for a dev job, and it just so happened to be. That's where my NHS experience started. And the irony is, you know, I worked on the system that processes referrals, but I couldn't get a referral for an adult autism assessment. Like, even from my GP. And because obviously I live on an island, my GP is essentially my neighbour, a few houses down.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was able to have a fairly frank conversation. But the frank conversation is, what's the matter, Mike? You've got a house, you know, you live over there, and you've got a lovely family, and you can't, you know, what do you hope to gain from this? And I thought these were actually good questions, but also, like, no self-knowledge whatsoever. I can't possibly figure anything out, you know.
That's I think that's one of the sort of the issues with the one of the issues with the systems is, you know, you need to have some type of issue which is in life which is a lot of the time you need some type of issue in life which is related to being autistic, or
yes, that's true,
something to go, because the diagnosis is there to help fix problems, you know. That's what the medical system is like. But
that's exactly right. And in fact, when I got my diagnosis documentation through, it was quite funny actually, because I was expecting to send me everything, but they didn't. They held back. They sent me 5 things. There was a covering letter, there was a letter to my GP, there was like a mapping document, and there was some other, you know, resources for my GP and so on. But there was a neutrally worded sort of diagnostic letter that went on for several pages, and it was about matching my experiences and my medical history and so on with the autism diagnostic criteria, but it was done in a flat, neutral way.
Yes.
And they said that the doctors, the NHS might not accept that because it's not written in line with the ICD-10 and the DSM-5.
Because it's not like it doesn't fit into the
so I've got
paradigm.
both documents. So I'm like, they were like, but sometimes they say, but sometimes we find patients, get a bit upset sometimes when we send them the paperwork, So would you like it? They actually made me sort of request it from them, like, yes, please. And it reads really badly. It's awful. It's accurate. It's completely accurate. And I'm going to show it on YouTube, but it's completely accurate. But it's also awful. Like, literally, when it comes down to language, there are two ways to present something, which can be presented as a sort of strengths and weaknesses kind of thing. It can be presented factually and neutrally, or it can be presented in a deficit-based manner.
Yes.
And on my medical records, on my medical file, is the deficit-based wording. But I literally have a sentence-for-sentence version that isn't deficit-based. And
that's a really big issue with it. Like I've found that very, very difficult in the past applying for like personal independence payments. You basically have to write like very, very, I don't know how to explain it. You just sort of have to like write about yourself as if you're a patient, like experiencing illness. And in ways, and it's so black and white, and it's so sort of blunt, and it's hard to read. Like,
it's hard to read. It's pretty awful, and like there is a better way. And unfortunately, if it is something like PIP or it goes via the DWP or something, then look. I mean, I wouldn't qualify for PIP because. Autism has worked almost, characteristics for me have worked very well in my software career. So like that's kind of like, means I don't need PIP. But, in order to qualify, I'd have to dig out all the deficit-based language again. And I want to quickly say here for the record, I am going to show this stuff on the YouTube video. I'm hoping to get some psychologists kind of like input into it because I think it's important to know from two ways. One is that not all psychologists, psychiatrists are what I would call neuroaffirmative. And by that, I don't mean, given that I keep getting accused of flipping woke scolding or whatever it is that I do.
You get accused of woke stuff?
Oh, yeah. Well, since the Dr. K thing.
Right. I see.
Yeah. So like, because I challenged, Dr. K's video on primary autism, some people who are obviously massive fans of his, which is ironic, really, because I've spoken with Dr. K and team, and we've actually had like some really, I wouldn't say it's comfortable conversation, but we've had like positive conversation.
Cordial.
Yeah, very cordial, very positive. Let's see what happens. But do you know, like if you've criticized someone and then you like see them in the supermarket, that's kind of how it felt. Because I'm like, well, at least you kind of honored my request to reach out. So, that's nice. That's very positive.
Yeah. Like, I didn't think you would see this. I don't think you would take notice of me, like big person. It's weird. Like the world of YouTube videos, it sort of exists in a different plane. I think it's like it's its own entity in a sense, to a certain degree, but it's the way that you go about doing things is by being very sort of, I guess a bit more out there than you usually would be if you were like having a face-to-face conversation with somebody.
Because it's YouTube and has to be edited for YouTube, right?
Yeah. I've seen other people who are the same. Like, I've seen some very outspoken, very like conviction heavy, confident speaking, who say some, I would say probably a little bit over the line in terms of like sort of insulting and stuff, but they also have a podcast where they talk to people about it, and they're very different in that sort of environment, I guess.
Is it a face-to-face podcast?
Yes.
Okay, there you go then.
Yeah.
I think you know, yeah, I mean, you're definitely one of the more sort of diplomatic content creators that I know.
Thank you.
No, I mean that in a really good way, by the way. Like it's meant as it is. I've never heard you. Not that there is need for disagreement, and disagreement is very healthy, and I encourage it. Like if you find something, if you're reacting to one of my videos and there's something you disagree with, please feel free to say.
Oh no, I do.
Totally.
I do, but you generally create good content.
And like, you know, I haven't noticed because there is something that does get me sometimes, mostly because I've noted it in my community, is folks will post a video and they'll say, you know, I didn't relate to this. I'm not saying you need to relate to everything, by the way, online, especially if it's autism, especially as it's spectrum, but
you know, lived experience.
Yeah, exactly. But like, you're very good with, and I'm not trying to be language police either, but like, it's like you're very good with your language, you know, like you tell stories from your perspective or explain like, hey, generally autistic people, blah, 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 you know, rather than all autistic people are.
It's because I've been a part of Instagram. That's why. It's a lot more like, things are a lot more inflammatory, or become very inflammatory very quickly based on small misunderstandings in communication. So a lot of my, I don't like people. I think that's one of the things that I'm fine with people disagreeing with me. It's just when people don't understand what I'm saying, or they misinterpret what I'm saying, or they assume what my intentions are or what I'm trying to do. That's what kind of upsets me a little bit. I know it's kind of just something that you've just got to deal with, like with the internet and stuff. But
is it Instagram or the internet? Because I'm not really that active on Instagram. I do have an Instagram account. It's Autistic After 40 if anyone wants to join it. And I think Thomas Henley is at Thomas Henley.
Oh yeah, it's at Thomas Henley UK.
Okay, cool. And but like, yeah, so definitely follow. But like, I don't really post on Instagram that much. I've not noticed anything because I don't really post on it, so I don't use it that much. YouTube, I've noticed is pretty good. The autism community on YouTube is pretty solid. But I haven't really. I've only dived into TikTok and Instagram when I've been looking things up, or I've been trying to find something. Sometimes Meg will. I'm autistic now. What she'll mention something from TikTok land, and I'll go and have a look and see if I can find it as well and see the videos related to it. TikTok I find a bit difficult. Mostly, maybe I feel old looking at TikTok. Maybe
I have no perception of like generations or anything.
No, I didn't.
I just see it. I've always been like that. I'm just kind of like blind.
Yeah.
To stuff. Like I take people as they are. And
like there's a lot of criticism of young autists on TikTok because of like the dances they do or the stim toys they're using or something like that. And I agree with you. None of it really affects me at all. I don't really watch their content because it doesn't vibe with me, but that doesn't mean that it's bad or wrong or whatever. It's just a different thing.
I think it works for sort of people who are new to it.
Yeah.
Like it's I think the YouTube stuff is especially like channels like mine and yours, and maybe like the Fort Spot, or I think there's like Ember Green, you know, the sort of more, you know, I feel like that's kind of sort of moving into the like Fort that comes after understanding like the basic kind of words and stuff, you know what I mean? But
I see what you're saying. A lot of folks wouldn't just sort of dive into a 40-minute Ember Green video on some aspect or whatever. I get you. But like
they probably should. It'd be interesting.
They probably should. Yeah, totally. I agree with you. Like, I think I enjoy the long form sort of essay based content, and I have a lot of respect for it now. Obviously, you know, in creating it, it's incredibly time consuming. So it's like, that's really good. I see it through like different eyes, and it's like, shit, you did good there. That's pretty good. Well done. I think people wouldn't make it to the end of one of my videos if I made it that long. But maybe.
I don't know how YouTube works. I throw stuff into the ether and see what works. I don't know.
Well, let me know.
I do what I want to do, what makes me happy, what people want people in sort of a close-knit community want from me. I just don't try to think about it too much.
Me too, dude. And one thing that I've noticed that's really come out of it is I'm really enjoying the online autism community. You know, not just the sort of like individual creator communities, but like more generally, there's a really nice vibe in the online autism community. And a lot of you in this live chat right now, I know exactly what I'm talking about. You wouldn't be here otherwise. And it's just like super accepting, super fun. I mean, I've also really enjoyed crowdsourcing ideas and opinions. It's been, you know, for example, just because it's most recent on my mind, the Dr. K thing. I asked for some critique on my video, and then I had like 24 people like, okay, what do you need? And people were like helping me with my homework. Like, here you go, Mike. This is where I think you did good and what you did bad, and blah, blah, blah. And I took all the notes together and then went straight to meeting, and it was like, oh my god, there's like 20 plus brilliant minds here, all helping me out, and it's like just incredible community, incredible support. You know, I'm super
sure.
humbled by that.
Very I learn a lot, and I also laugh a lot. To be honest, I don't know what it is. Maybe we're just funny. I'm not going to make general statements about.
No, you crack on, Thomas. You got some credits to use up.
but maybe the people that sort of have tuned into my stuff, I think they offer a lot of different nuanced ideas and stuff that I don't know much about.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't know something about something, someone has like a mountain of knowledge on it and just informs me on all of it, and it's great.
Oh, you're not kidding. Yeah, you're totally not kidding. I made a video debunking some bad medical research. Actually, it wasn't medical research at all. It was an advertorial for a dodgy autism cure type organization. And, you know, I'm not a medical journalist by any means. But then medical journalists start popping up in the comments section, like bona fide medical journalists. And then like, oh, you did that really, really well. You could have done this bit. It's like, oh my God, this is amazing. But also, do you get that feeling where before you make a video, you know that some expert is going to be there? You know, like someone's going to know.
Yeah. I do. The thing is, I have a lot of respect for people who have gone through the degrees and the doctorates and do the job for a living and stuff. And I do have that respect, but I'm very keenly aware of like what that covers. And I know that a lot of this stuff, specifically on like the lived experience front, is not something that is taught to people a lot, or at least it's kind of just little bits, you know. They've got a, I mean, you can find real amazing shining examples of people who are psychologists and who have sort of been a part of the community and sort of learnt and grown themselves and sort of developed their opinions and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's a strange one. I find talking to Megan Neff from Neurodivergent Insights to be very, you know, I mean, I mention her so much that I should be like giving a. This is sounding like I'm doing an advert, but I'm really not. Like, I'm a Megan Neff fanboy. She's neurodivergent. She's a clinical psychologist and just ties in everything together. And I think she's great.
There you go. Megan Neff, everyone. Definitely worth a subscribe.
Neff, yeah.
I got into, I don't know if that's the right word, but like you mentioned Megan Neff a little while ago, and I've been subscribed and the content's great. And like, it's because like the theory of monotropism, the monotropic theory of autism, in how we allocate our attention and so on. So it's a way of kind of explaining a lot of the lived experience through science. And you know, one of the research, well, I think it's more than one of the researchers, but one of the three researchers on that paper gave their sort of lived experience or contributed lived experience to it. And I think that's a coloration, if you will, or a lens that needs to be in all research going forward. The nothing about us without us thing. It's a bizarre thing to be studying a group of people without representation from that group. It's I find it really strange. I suppose coming at this in my early 40s, never experiencing, well, obviously being othered my whole life, but never knowing why, never having an actual label for that. Looking into scientific literature and seeing the most awful stuff, like in very recent scientific literature. It's quite depressing, really, seeing yourself written about in such awful ways. I was reading a paper on sort of sexual inappropriateness recently, and it's like, well, we're not all walking around the street flashing people, but it's kind of the impression you get from the abstract.
Yeah. I mean, there has. I don't particularly want to go into it, but there has been some interesting research around that sort of topic. Not the inappropriateness, but I don't want to go into it there. I don't want to.
No, it's okay. We can leave it. We can go offline. But like, there's there are obvious differences and things, but like some stuff. Okay, well, another perhaps better example, perhaps a cleaner example, is it blows me away that there are organizations out there actively trying to pollute the scientific literature with the cure that they sell and trying to get that covered in the mainstream media by saying, we have a cure for autism, we can reverse autism, we can pause the effects of autism, we can pick up autism super early and change your child. And obviously only using our cure, and I have to be careful what I say because YouTube has punished me previously for debunking medical misinformation. But those things, one company I called out is actually running YouTube adverts on YouTube for, it's a stem cell chelation thing. I'm sure those words are going to get me demonetized or something. And it's really, really poor. It's that YouTube sort of host companies and their channels and their adverts for unproven dangerous therapies. And I know there are desperate parents. I get that. Nina works with them on the daily, and it's not usually autism per se. It's usually something else. ARFID, learning disabilities or intellectual disabilities in the States. Other very strange and very, very rare conditions where people often do have autism in addition to it.
Sorry.
No, not at all. I was just sort of saying it's just really sad that in the scientific literature there's just this there are companies which literally try and get adverts, as papers.
Yes.
It just blows my mind.
I wonder why. It's
I couldn't possibly say.
Why are they advertising? Well, I've been in a very fortunate position to have connections with people who have been within sort of the teaching profession, and I've done so for very, very long time. I know people who have been like sort of working within schools. I know people who have been sort of ahead of policy and sort of organization of education and stuff, and also when it came to the government side, sort of with my job, and I guess it's given me kind of a good insight, because I think the people who know what they're talking about, the people that I've talked to, they would agree with you. Like it's they might talk about some type of therapy that would work for treating autism, something of that nature. But a lot of the time, one of the big factors that not a lot of people pay attention to is that person, that child, that person is getting one-to-one support as opposed to a classroom experience, which is very different.
And it's expensive as well.
And expensive.
So, I mean, a lot of the issues around this big transition, into adulthood, into becoming 18, comes from the fact that I mean, particularly British Isles anyway. I can't speak for other countries, but there are a lot of services. There's a lot of support for children's services up to the age of 18. And then literally it's like, that's it.
Nothing.
No more respite.
Maybe some
no
charities.
No more special support. Charities will pretty much stop as well. Rightly so that there should be focus on children. I mean, I wouldn't take that away. I'm not advocating that should be redistributed. I'm just saying that there is near as damn it, and I don't like generalizing, but no support for adults. And it happens really, really quickly. And
even in the UK, which is, I would argue, like pretty on it with that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know that there is a better country or that has the supports for those with higher support needs, and then you're kind of on your own really.
I worked with a charity who did the sort of post 18, 19 to 25, but 25 seems to be like the max even for those sort of fringe programs and stuff that you can go through. Right. I mean, there's lots of stuff that in terms of like official sort of policy related advocacy, I think one of the education stuff is definitely a big one.
Particularly like missing education. There's a lot of autists that miss education or have left education early. Then you're not going to find you're going to get much support to kind of catch up if that's a good word. Later, because later is invariably after 18, and after 18, that's it. You're not going to get tutors. You're not going to get anything like that. So,
also for mainstream educated students, having some type of legislated sort of autism awareness stuff, like
I think,
which did just a little bit, In
the UK, there was
integration.
There was a commission
supported mediation.
Yeah, I mean, there's recommendations, right? There's like codes of practice. There's, please do this, please don't do this type of stuff. But it's not legislation. It, possibly needs to be. It feels a bit sad that, I mean, going off the reported numbers of 1 in 36, that's one pupil per classroom, essentially. Again, big brushes here, big generalizations, and clearly it's more than that. I'm just going off the numbers, the Office of National Statistics numbers. Schools must be aware and therefore should make more. It's hard for them to accommodate though as well. I mean, schools are also under pressure.
Well, they should do something,
but they should. There's very little. The other thing is, which is kind of slightly sick when you think about it, is often children need to have a formal diagnosis, for example, ADHD or autism. The waits for those can take a couple of years. And obviously it's schooling, and that's when they need the accommodations, but they need the formal diagnosis in order to get the accommodation.
Unless you got the moolah.
Yeah. Whereas if you work, for example, as an adult, and you're in a company like Microsoft or Dell, I happen to know quite well, you can get accommodations by pursuing a formal diagnosis. You don't need to wait for it. So there are some sort of multinationals that are quite good, but it's almost like you don't really need that so much later on as an adult, and it would have really helped a lot earlier as well.
Yeah,
not taking anything away. Like,
I mean, I had a diagnosis when I was 10. I understand. I'm aware. I try my best to understand what it would be like to not know that you're autistic. I kind of, in a sense, I didn't understand how much of it was a part of me for a while, so I only really understood it as me struggling to talk to people and with noises. That was my understanding of autism, but I received very, very little support, adjustments which were related to schoolwork, which I didn't need help with. So it was kind of, I didn't really get much support, to be honest. And I think, I think there's a lot of things, isn't it? There's the educational side. There's the sort of general sort of neurotypical population having some level of peer-mediated intervention as in terms of education. There's also the bullying thing and the negative things that autistic people can experience at high rates. mental health, big one. Where is the therapy specialized for autistic people when the burden of mental health is so wide? It's all stuff that
Quite.
we need to do, and it makes sense to do, but
I'd
not
argue that
happening yet.
it really does make sense to, for example, accommodate those neurodivergent pupils, because it does reduce the burden on mental health services down the line. I mean, come on now. It's kind of cheaper to accommodate. And some of these accommodations, being specific, are not really asking the earth. But, as with all things, it's often too little, too late. I just got the comments here. Helen was saying that children were accommodated, our kids' school accommodated our 3 kids because they were on the waiting list. That's amazing.
That's good.
That's really good. And it's almost like maybe the schools don't want to accommodate all pupils for some reason, therefore they want to see that you're serious. Or maybe, so it's like, okay, you're on a waiting list, so therefore, have the ability to leave the classroom if it becomes a bit too overwhelming, for example. Rather than, get to a point of potentially melting down. I had meltdowns at school. They weren't very nice, and the effects of those ran for years. I mean, I spent a lot of time just hiding in the toilets. Like, I wish things could be different. When I was in school in Germany, I was called an army brat. So I was, my parents were in the forces, so we moved house like constantly. There was a little while where I was homeschooled for a few months, and it was just brilliant. And by homeschool, I mean, here's all the books, here's the worksheets, complete, half of it. And I just did the whole thing. I completed the whole thing in like about a week or two because, wasn't much to do back then. So it was like entertainment. And, I mean, obviously, you sort of miss out on the social stuff. But I don't know. I just enjoyed just being on my own rather than being forced into, like where kids get forced out into playgrounds, three times a day. And if they're being quiet or hiding around a corner, they must be up to no good.
I think I think that's a good thing. Like, I think we should have designated times for socializing. I like that, but I do wish that. I mean, even I've seen it even in sort of kids who I've supported through my TAing work, and also within special schools where it's not really they don't teach the kids to recognize when they're not feeling good and to ask to be somewhere that's quiet, which I think is like a really good thing to teach them. It's like,
no, it's amazing to teach them. I mean, especially if they may not know that they're sort of alexithymic,
allowed to do it, or alexithymia, but also that they're allowed to like ask to go somewhere quiet, and that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, the implication, like, look, you're just up to no good, or you're trying to bunk off. It might just be that they need a moment. And as an adult, it becomes less of an issue, especially if you're working from home or working remotely as well. If you're able to do that, of some occupations, and it's like it just makes me scratch my head a little bit. It's like things could be so much different. But I wanted to ask you, Thomas. Well, do you know the NBA star? I forget the name, but it's easy to find if you Google.
Probably not.
Okay, he's autistic. His son was diagnosed, and he recognised a lot of the same features, which he thought were just family kind of traits,
Yeah.
And went for an assessment and was diagnosed formally as autistic. But he said something controversial, I think, is a bit of a hot take, which is that he is obviously an NBA star, but he's glad that he didn't know when he was younger. Yeah, I know, that was my face as well. I was like, okay, that's an interesting angle that I've not heard before. Do you, or do you know anyone who feels that way? The kind of the inverse to how I feel.
Yeah.
It's like, I wished I'd bloody well known.
Yes.
Yeah,
I do. I think it's, I don't know, you never really know, because one thing that I'm very keenly aware of is that, as much as I try to understand myself and the world and stuff, I am but a globule of fat within a skull, and I'm not aware of everything, and sometimes my mind changes on things when I learn more about stuff. And
Okay.
I'm aware that people's perceptions of things can shift quite a bit, you know, obviously based on their personality and their environment. And, you know, I'm happy to accept that some people are just fine with not pursuing the sort of awareness of being autistic, or, you know, wishing for the support. You know, some people, you know, talk about, oh, it made me tough, it made me know how to sort of grow and sort of learn. And you know, there is a lot of the masking which slips in, but also I think with some people there is self-awareness of it, that they do it because they want to, because that's how they work. They do it at work, and then they come home and they drop the mask, and that's fine for them. And you know, a lot of people deal with stuff very, very differently. And you know, I'd say in general, most people, it'd be good to know, but I'm not saying that, like,
Yeah, I know.
you know,
He was doing
depends on your parents, really, who's
yeah,
around you.
yeah. He was obviously supported sufficiently in some ways, and I think it's an interesting angle. I mean, he believes that he knows himself better than anyone else. Would have used it as a crutch. His words, not mine.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was quite an interesting thing to think about, because obviously I've been hyper focused on wished I'd known, I wished I'd known, I wished I'd known, I wished I'd known, almost like a grieving process, and then coming out the other end and going, well, I know now. So, anyway,
I can try and empathize with that. I can't imagine it very much, but it's yeah, I imagine it's almost like a sort of second adolescence, in the sense that you just kind of realize so much and change so much. And
second adolescence is a really good way to describe it. For me, it did feel like I was screaming at the clouds quite a bit. You know, not literally, but just like, it was quite giddy. It was a strange experience of like highs and lows crashing constantly, waves,
roller coaster,
like a grief. Yeah, like just wave, and then getting slowly further apart. And now I'm just full acceptance, but like
self-doubt.
Doubt, like I can't possibly be. And autism,
philosophical,
is a dirty word. Yeah, you get very philosophical.
Psychological.
But then when you start to accept that maybe something just flicks in your brain, and you go, okay, well, let's just do a thought experiment. Maybe I am. Then you start to, every time you have a memory, even in this conversation we're having now, you know, every time you have a memory, you look at it and go through an autism lens and go, yeah. Because an ADHD friend of mine went to the same tattooist, and the tattooist said, and this was 3 years later, oh, are you friends with quote unquote that weird cat guy? Was how it was described. And you know, and it just makes me think, I get the weird thing, I get the presentation thing, but I was desperately trying to be like normal and cool. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I say normal with quotation marks.
No, of course. Like, we're social animals. Like,
I'm
we
just be like normal, you know.
You kind of remodel your memories, I guess.
Yeah, you do, totally. And you think, well, that's not right. And it's like a first adolescence when you realize that your parents don't know everything.
Yes.
You know, that switch. I'm describing a massive human experience in one sentence.
Yeah.
So you have to work with me. But you know, it's that sort of thing again. And it's like, shit, I didn't know all this stuff, and then I was really unkind about myself. And it's not like you look back on life and go, happy disabled person trope, and go like, I'm so good and everything else is bad. You start to see situations where you fucked up that you may not have realized, and you're like, shit.
Yeah. But usually even like interpersonally, it's usually a cross cognitive thing. So it's kind of like, you know, even sort of very impactful experiences, like, you know, negative things I experienced at school. Even in situations like that, where, you know, there was definitely an aggressor in that situation, I still I guess I kind of obviously there's the aspect of you being young, them being younger, and all that, which kind of interplays into it. But it's kind of like to varying degrees depending on what you're thinking about. It's kind of a both sides kind of thing. Like sometimes, you know, not always.
Yeah.
Not always.
Yeah, not always.
But in some situations, especially like in adulthood and such, and when sort of you get into complex interpersonal stuff, you kind of just, just process it, realize that there's maybe some things that are related to autism which have muddled up the situation, made it confusing for both parties because of those cross-cognitive differences, and you just kind of you process it and just say, oh, okay, well, that was a bit annoying that I didn't know that stuff and they didn't. That was actually that's beautiful. How I view my stuff. But
that was very philosophical, super accurate. I don't know about you guys in the chat, but same, right? That was beautifully well worded. You got away with words. That was excellently explained. I can't add to that. Lolly says, "Does anyone struggle to find out who you are under all the masks?" I mean, yeah, from my perspective, I'm a blend of the Mike that I've created and who I am. It's kind of like sort of yes, sort of no.
Well, I mean, everyone has a persona, don't they? Everyone has sort of, you have your inner world that you don't show anyone, then you have the world that you show people that you're close to, and then you have the world that you display to the person that you display to the public. But when it comes to
I'd like to say that the way you present is how you are in real life, Thomas. For those that are wondering, is this Thomas's avatar, his AI creation? No, that's how he is. Yeah. That's how he is. He's that's pretty accurate. But yeah, I know what you mean. We've got the public persona, and then we have our sort of more private one, and then our sort of very private one, like our internal thoughts. But
a lot of people confuse that thing, the shifting. Neurotypical shifting, and some people have talked about it as what masking is. Like people who don't understand what masking is and think we're just kind of blowing smoke up each other's asses, they'll say something along the lines of, "Oh, everybody masks, everybody does that." But in the context of masking and autism, it's specifically about autism-related things.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So. Last year when I came back on the boat back to the island, it was so busy I had to sit outside, and it was fine, it was nice weather, and there was this lady, she must have been mid-60s, maybe a little bit older, and she had a big long flowing dress on, and she was sort of walking around the outside of the boat spinning. She was literally physically spinning, and I sort of watched her and I really wanted to say something. Are you autistic? I don't know if that would have gone down well or not.
Hey,
hey, you're autistic.
Spinny person.
Me too. Hello. Yeah, because it was and that's kind of almost unmasked, because everyone masks, sure, everyone's trying to maintain this veneer for sure, but then I'm also trying not to move. I move a lot. I move my hands. I wobble about. I literally just for proprioceptive kind of input. And so I'll be sitting on my hands. I'll be I'll squeeze. If I go out with family for a meal or something, I'll just push a foot, usually around a table leg or something like that. And that's what I do now. Even though I know I'm autistic and everyone knows I'm autistic, I still do that. I still squeeze my toes together. I still manage myself in a masked way, sort of. But that is kind of me now. Does that make sense? Would I do something else? I mean, if I'm out for a walk with friends or whatever, I'm I'm a bit like a pigeon. I get described as moving about a lot. But
that's the whole thing about the whole lived experience angle as well, because it inherently ties a lot of grayness into. We're talking about sort of the medical stuff earlier. It inherently ties a lot of grayness into something that's supposed to be very black and white.
Yeah.
so philosophy comes in, psychology comes in.
Yeah, it's totally
Question.
philosophical. It's like, 'cause we do discuss a lot, don't we, in these circles? Like, who's the real me? Like, am I the real me? And the real you, and all this sort of stuff. And I think we are all prone to inner reflection, to like maybe a lot. Like we do think like we're all a bit extra. I think we do an awful lot. Imagine if the whole world gave even 10% of the amount of inner reflective contemplativeness that we all flipping do, hanging around chatting to each other for hours about our inner experience. Imagine if neurotypicals did that, and what a world it would be. But I'm happy to say, I don't know that I do feel societal pressure to behave in a certain way, but I do sort of manage myself a little bit. I do this with my fingers a lot, do that with my neck a lot. But that's just like neurotypicals do that, don't they? They kind of go, they stretch a muscle or something and pat it off as a hair thing, So kind of,
Especially when they're nervous.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, quite, Thomas. That's a really good point. Yeah. You want to see some behavior in a neurotypical? Yeah, make them nervous. Yeah.
But I suppose along the lines of like finding who the real you is, I think I've done a lot of thinking about it, and as I said, like I did come to some conclusion that as long as what I'm doing isn't detracting from my overall experience with things in life, then I'm happy. That's kind of my idea of it, And I do mask sometimes, especially if I'm just meeting someone who is not autistic for the first time. I'll mask a little bit, but not too much. It's more of like just to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel the same way in like business when I'm doing like work or I'm having a work meeting, like an interview type of thing.
Yeah.
Or that kind of like that first date thing. That's kind of how I feel. Like talking about it in terms of like feelings, because it's like you're trying to kind of present yourself in such a way that it doesn't make the other person uncomfortable. And I guess that's kind of how I think about how masking feels. Almost the butterflies, but it's not about meeting someone or going on a date. It's about do I look autistic? I guess.
Yeah. I guess I don't view it in that way. It's more like I'm making an effort to bridge the cross-cognitive differences, mostly related to indirect communication, like in the first instance, until they feel comfortable with me, and then they just get me. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as I can fast track it towards that as quickly as possible. It's fine.
Sorry, I'm laughing and coughing. Yeah, exactly. Okay, all right. I that's cool. All right. So
that's how I go about it.
Thomas has got this mission to fast track.
Yeah, but I mean, it really depends on the person. Like,
that's fine.
If they seem to be very outwardly extroverted, I tend to take that approach. Just because, in general, my experiences with people is I don't know. I feel like it's easier to sort of no, maybe not. Maybe I'm making a generalization. You know what? I don't think so.
No, I know.
Someone keeps saying that I look tired. Sarah, you keep saying that I look like my battery's low.
Oh,
I think maybe it might be that when I am streaming on my own or talking on my own, I talk a lot. But I think when it comes to like conversational stuff or like real life, I'm a lot more of a kind of sit back and listen kind of person usually. It's
I'm kind of a bit of both, I think. When we took a quick 2-minute break earlier, Nina was like, "Make sure you don't talk over Thomas too much," and it's like, no, like I guess because kind of that sort of there's the deficits in back and forth communication, quote unquote, because I'll often do that. But another thing that I've noted interesting, that's really been apparent to me in the past year, that I think folks, society, if you will, doesn't seem to get, is that I find a lot of the communication differences between, not across the cognitive divide, but just like, for example, autistic people will often tell a story and then someone else will then tell another story, which shows that they're listening and that they relate, as opposed to like one-upping.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, don't tell, it's not like a pissing contest. It's like, well, no, we're just sharing. We're just spending time with each other and we're just sharing. And I really enjoyed that with the time that we spent, Thomas. And when I was with Quinn a couple of days earlier, it was great as well. Same sort of vibe. And you just see that a lot in sort of neurodivergent communities where people kind of sharing stories with each other. But that really does get you caught out in a typical sort of neurotypical kind of.
Yeah, it really depends on the person, but yeah,
really
generally, like,
but trust me on this, it
it's
happens
more
a
of the
lot.
game of that game that you play in primary school where you have the talking ball. That's the autism conversation that I usually have.
The talking ball.
I get the talking ball, and you get the talking ball.
Even though I don't want the talking ball, I just want to listen. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm happy. I'm sitting here. I'm chill. You keep it for a bit. No, but you have to have it. It's your turn.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas neurotypical communication, it's like table tennis.
Yeah.
Not always, of course. That's a generalization, but it's that's how it feels sometimes.
Yeah.
No, I'm not as tanned. I'm not as tanned, Jackie. I'm a pale boy.
Okay. My mother's Malaysian. So, I looked more Asian when I was younger. I looked kind of Chinese when I was younger. And then I went through a weird kind of phase of looking a little bit like Barack Obama, but obviously that was before Barack Obama was a thing. And then, and I'm me now. It's just kind of a thing. Nice. Did anyone have any questions for Thomas, by the way, while we're here?
Yes.
Finished tiring him out. Questions for Thomas?
I will probably go in maybe like 10 minutes or so.
Exactly. Quick questions for Thomas.
What are you meant to say in response to ND conversation? Just do what you want. If you want to make it good, I don't know. I take the angle of like, I don't necessarily try too much to change or like suss it out or anything. I just generally find I just be who I am, and then sometimes I come across people who are quite direct and like to listen and aren't like very full on, and then I vibe with them. That's what I do.
Yeah. Is your jacket soft? Says General Otter.
It's a dressing gown. It's the famous dressing gown.
I can tell you that the chair is very comfortable. I got to sit in it, but we were running a bit short of time. I had to go get it.
Thomas, like, whatever, man. I don't know.
What was that?
I think, So someone says like,
whatever, man. I don't know. Like, Thomas is far too chilled.
I'm a little bit too bro coded, I think. Is that a thing? Yeah, bro coded, maybe just a little bit, not too much.
Thomas is too chill. Brad says, do you do YouTube full time, Thomas, or do you have another job career?
I used to have a job career. Most of the time, my YouTube, well, for like probably 6-7 years, it's just been like a passion thing. But I've been wanting to give it a go properly, so it is at the moment. It's I'm seeing how it goes. I'm considering other options. There is possibly, if I don't feel like I can make enough money from it in like a year or something, I might, see if I can do some like PT sessions at my gym or something. Yeah,
Thomas, you were great. Like PTing me, you were absolutely fantastic, by the way. Honestly, thanks, like I did say at the time, I've got zero feedback for you. Just like, that was great. Super calm, super knowledgeable, taught me all the different forms and things, and just really good. Thank you. I'm no longer sore, by the way, and I'm trying to work out with dumbbells. I'm trying
How
to
long did it last?
Coffee as much. Yeah, when I end up ripped, Thomas helped me with that. That's for damn sure.
How long did it last, the soreness?
Well, Well, I wasn't sore on the day, or even like the following morning, it kind of started to kick in. And I'd say it was incredibly intense for a day. Like I'd never felt so sore upper body.
You did go hard, to be honest.
Look,
you really tried.
I'm like, this is Thomas's special place. I'm like, I needed the full experience. And it was just, it was really great. It was nice to hang out, and it was nice to, it was lovely just to hang out, and it was great also to get that kind of gym thing. And it was also good to kind of push my boundaries because, like I said, the gym's not really my place, and I'm trying to, maybe I'll go like once a week, maybe twice. Do you know what I mean? I'll try and introduce it into my schedule, and I definitely wouldn't have done that without you. So it's really handy to be able to have like an autistic friend. They're fantastic for helping you push your boundaries. I think TJ said that in the community a couple of days ago, and that really resonated with me. It's like, I think that's true. I think if you want to improve yourself,
I've never been scuba diving before. So.
Well, let's sort it out. Let's start with the local. We got some. How about the seals, man? Come over, and we'll go swimming with the seals. Seals are massive, dude.
I thought you meant like Navy SEALs for a second.
Oh no, not Navy SEAls.
Underwater until I pass out, and then
they're like underwater. No, they're like underwater dogs. We can just go and and do that.
I would love to see the seals.
Absolutely, Mike went all in on the lifting. I did. It was. Do you know what? It was quite funny because like the amount of stuff I'm lifting versus Thomas. Like Thomas had this we started. I'm not even sure what the exercise is called. We had like it was free weights.
The first one was the shoulder press.
Shoulder press. There you go. And like Thomas is putting weights on, and then like when it's my turn, like he goes off and he brings back this like really small bar, and it's like, oh, is this for kids or something?
Shoulder press is it's you can't lift up, well, compared to a lot of different lifts, it's hard to lift a lot of weight on.
Yeah, it was difficult, but because like I'm built like a fish basically.
You're not.
I'm
you're too hard on yourself.
I've got decent calves, I've got to say. I got like because like when you're like diving and swimming and stuff, you basically don't use your arms. You don't use your upper body is for like tools, so like flashlight and tools, but you use your legs a lot. Hey, thanks T Fairy.
T Fairy.
You need to get yourself a T Fairy, Thomas.
I know. Oh, my camera's got the light thingy.
We also need to do some content, so we'll definitely do that at some point soon. I think at some point, whenever your calendar. Oh, what's that? A fan? Nice.
Yeah, it's to cool down my camera.
Yeah, I bet you're really. Yeah, does it switch off after a while?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that. I built like a fish, like a salmon. Yeah, I'm like a salmon. So like
you've got good genetics.
I feel like I've got good legs. So like, because of course I'm swimming a lot, but like we use fins, so you don't swim with your arms. Your hands are for doing other things. So like, because you're just using your legs. I'm like an inverse bodybuilder. Well, not like an inverse bodybuilder, but like I've got good tone, like bottom half, but like top half, I'm a software engineer. So I've got software. I think
you'd be a good deadlifter. You've got the anatomy to be a good deadlifter. Right?
Okay, but I'm just deadlifting light stuff right now. But it was so funny when Thomas brought out this like really little bar with the little weights on. So it was great fun, and I just wet myself laughing and didn't feel any pain at all, except for that one exercise. There was one exercise that was a bit sore.
Upright row.
Upright row was a bit sore, but other than that, no pain whatsoever, and just nothing. And I slept on the way home on the boat. It was all good, and I woke up in the morning. I woke up in the morning feeling like I'd just caught fire.
Jesus. The funny thing about it is it's kind of, you really don't need to do that much. Like for the first year, you just need to like get used to the movements and stuff. And generally, like when you've been going for a while, you have to, the progress slows, and the amount of work that you need to do to get that slow progress is increasingly more. So it's kind of like, it's you probably didn't need to do one of my sessions, or like but you wanted to.
I tagged along. Do you know what? I had a really great time. It ticked a load of boxes for me. It was great to spend time together, and it was also amazing to do to kind of learn. Like, it's stuff I wanted to do, and I didn't. Sounds really bizarre. The stuff that's coming out of my mouth sounds really, really weird. So you kind of have to couch it in what I intend it to sound like. But it felt safe, like, because, you know, we're going together, so it feels safe. Because, like, when you're going to an unknown thing or an unknown area, you kind of want someone to be with you that, you know, knows that thing. So it kind of felt like autistic friends. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys for pushing boundaries. If you want to do something new, find an autistic person with that as their passion, and just roll with it. Christopher Matthews says, wish I met someone as chill as Thomas at the gym. I haven't been for a long time because they feel comfortable there. Social stuff and masculine expectations. Christopher, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not really.
It's a big thing. Yeah. And then you have, I think, you know, the experience of, you know, sort of women going to the gym is kind of a little bit different in different ways. And yeah, it's, I wish it was less like that, you know, but I think it's just, I don't know.
But it was,
I think it really depends on where you go and what time you go. You know, you'll usually, if you go very early in the morning, you'll usually find a lot of really, really jacked people, but they just get on with their own thing, and they just don't pay attention to anybody. But go at 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. You'll get a whole host of different random archetypes of human beings.
Later P, autistic gym sounds like an oxymoron, but, you know, it's like stimming, and also it kind of like it ticks the same boxes as going for a snorkel or a swim, in that it's like you're moving your body, you're getting proprioceptive kind of, you're getting something back. Do you know what I mean? Like you feel something, stuff's happening, and it's quite pleasurable in that way. And then you kind of like feel tired and relaxed at the end, and your muscles have been used and moved, and you've moved your body in certain ways. I think there's quite a lot of autistic people who do things like martial arts, contact sports. Yeah. Like we are known for it, actually.
A lot of really, really strongman, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You know, I hesitate to say me in Taekwondo. I'm sure there's got to be some autistic boxer out there or something that's really good. You know?
Yeah, but like it's definitely known for it. Some of the books I read were from women that were into like martial arts and sports and stuff, and I found that an interesting kind of thing, because I'm like, okay, well, I'm not a woman either, but like, so it's like, okay, how does that work? How does autism play into that for you? Do you have like any dyspraxia or any difficulties with motion? And a lot of people find it really, really helpful. And from my perspective is I want to get as many autistic people into the sea as possible, because there's something about the ocean that, because of the pressure all around you, do you know what I mean? Swim down a little bit. And, you know, that proprioceptive awareness for me is I'm amazingly controlled in the sea. Like I'm known for it. Like I'm just absolutely stationary. I'm literally just like a fish. Like the fish will swim up to me and stuff, because I'm just like I'm not threatening or something. I don't know what they think. I have no idea, but they don't swim away. And it's like, wow, that's amazing. But then I'm tripping up over my feet. I'm literally like treading on my toes on the way in and out.
It's I mean, the way that because I also have balance and proprioceptive differences. I'm not sure what exactly those differences are, but I trip over stuff. I trip a lot. I nearly fall down a lot. I always catch myself. But I think it's Taekwondo martial arts are very balance heavy. You've got to do a lot of like crazy explosive movements and then make sure that you're okay on the way down. I think it's fine if I'm concentrating on moving. If I'm not concentrating on moving, I'm clumsy. But if I am, I'm fine.
Yeah, that might be a really good way to put it, actually. Yeah. Do you know what? That's probably clicked in my head something there, because it's like, you're focusing on like where you are and you're thinking about your body, whereas most of the time I'm just not, and I'm just knocking things over. So yeah, there is that. Thomas, do you have to head?
Yeah, probably.
You're welcome to stay, and we'll also do stuff as well, because I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel slightly remiss. I guess I've just been focused on doing a lot of my own stuff. But yeah, I definitely want to talk more about some of the things that we've covered in person as well as on the stream.
No, of course. I think it would be. I mean, I feel like we bounce off each other quite well in conversation, and I think you were thinking about like ways to sort of bridge between like channels and sort of the whole community aspect, and maybe it might be a good idea to like just do like a podcast. Like we could do a podcast. I'm very happy to, chilling and talking, and that's
the answer from me, if you're like, hey, do you want to do some collab or something, you'd be like, hell yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, like it tickles a special part of my brain, just like seeing well, not just seeing friends. I mean, we met up. It wasn't like we were just talking about YouTube the whole time. Most of the time we weren't really talking about YouTube. But it's nice to meet up with friends, but it's also quite nice to kind of do and sort of tick that autism kind of community box. I think we are overpowered, I think, actually, online in many respects. The Dr. K thing was just one example of that, where I forget who asked me how many times I commented on his live stream. It wasn't that many. It was less than 6 in total. And, but we are so overpowered. Like, we can't be ignored. There's so many of us. And there's definitely an opportunity there to kind of... I've just seen TJ's message there that says deep water is terrifying. I love it. It's incredibly peaceful to me. I don't like my time in the sea. Like, my ideal time in the sea is I'm on my own and I'm somewhere dark and cool. And, that's peace for me. Sorry.
What are you saying? What are you
People are in
saying?
the chat talking about things that really interest me, and it's throwing me off my stride.
Yeah, Jackie practicing the Wim Hof stuff. Nice.
Jackie Wim Hof, yeah.
I rate that.
You reckon Wim Hof? I don't know much about it, to be honest. I know that I vibe with cold water. And
I'll talk about the Wim Hof thing, and then I'll bounce. But
all right, cool.
I want to talk about it because
right,
I find it interesting. So like the whole idea of it is that you basically, through your breathing, spike your adrenaline and cortisol, basically somewhat inducing panic in yourself.
Yeah, I was going to say the bad things.
And then you sort of reverse it, and you do a breathing thing, and it brings you back down. And I found it to be an actual, like, I don't recommend it because it's obviously like quite extreme form of breathing exercise, but I found that it was quite helpful for me understanding that breathing exercises do help. It's just that because of my alexithymia, I just couldn't tell when I was doing them because the change was so minimal.
Right.
It was difficult to isolate, but doing that, it just brought me up to 100 and then brought me back down, and I could say, oh, actually, like, I do feel a little bit different from that. I guess breathing does work.
Well, it's important to breathe. We do this thing on the Isle of Man on New Year's Day, which is called the New Year's Dip. And basically all around the island, people literally run into the sea on New Year's Day, like in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Like, the idea is it's kind of like refreshing and this sort of stuff. And you go run into the sea and it's freezing cold. The Coast Guard are out there waiting for you in case anyone panics or whatever. I can do that. I've done it. My son and I, we do it sometimes, some years we can't be bothered, but sometimes we go out and we jump into the sea. And yeah, I mean, the cold water's good, but you can get cold water shock, by the way. Like, if you're going to do the Wim Hof thing, I don't know. I don't know anything about it, but I would say don't go jumping into the sea just off the cuff unless you're used to it. It's a thing you build up a certain tolerance to. But I do love jumping into the ocean. It's a big thing for me. I had to get over my fear of jellyfish, but that's a story for another day.
I got a fear of jellyfish too. I do actually like them. I want some I would love a pet jellyfish.
Jellyfish.
Yeah.
I brought a jellyfish. My son and I, we brought a jellyfish home once, in a water bottle. We sort of made a little aquarium for it, but it died overnight. It just dissolved. It literally just vanished. It literally just dissolved into the water. Thanks, Thomas, for being here.
You're welcome.
Welcome to drop in anytime. You've carried me sufficiently, not just at the gym, but also on a live stream where I've been feeling a bit crappy.
I'm sorry to say that, man.
Yeah,
It's, I hope you feel a bit better soon.
Um,
We'll have to do some. We'll chat and see if we can do something. I don't know, like. Probably have to be like a new podcast, I guess. But
well, we can pod.
We can talk about it.
My next video is on autistic love languages, and my intention was to record it today, but I've been good for nothing today. So yeah, I don't know what I'm even asking. I was going to say, like, I kind of want to say asshole again on one of my videos. It's just. Sorry, I just like the play. Like, you guys may have noticed this. I enjoy very much just like playing. Like, YouTube is a fun thing for me, and
same.
Like I like the playfulness side of it. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat there. Yeah, so thanks very much. I won't be online for too much longer, but I'll wrap things up. Thank
you for everybody who comes to my live stream and sort of chatted in. I have seen the messages. I much appreciate it, and also anyone who is new to my face. I hope that you have not found my ramblings to be too irritating or anything.
Thomas, one other thing, Thomas. You missed Jen.
I did.
Jen was on earlier. While you were doing whatever. So we should definitely get a multi-way conversation going on. That's Jen was like, we should do that. And I just saw your message about a 3-way. So yeah.
I said thruple.
You said thruple. That's right. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything about it. I wasn't sorry.
No, I'm just joking around.
I didn't mean it in any way. But yeah.
No, so I know.
We definitely need to do that. We'll thruple it too, or maybe even quadruple it or whatever. We'll get there's some other creators as well. It'd be great. I just want to hear multiple folks with. Don't press that, Saber. Don't do that. Sorry. My cat's Saber. He's got one front leg and he likes to use it to touch everything. They've even started a stream on their own ones.
Thank you, L Moon.
So yeah, this is Thomas Henley. I'm sure you're all familiar with Thomas, but you're going to definitely subscribe. Go to Thomas's channel. I highly rate it, by the way. I don't say this about everyone. But it's totally
true. Very, very strange things.
Thomas's content is absolutely being accurate in speech, and I appreciate on live streams. This is the ADHD side of the channel, really. But I'm not saying ADHD is not accurate, but you know what I mean. Thomas's language is absolutely on point. If you are trying to learn about anything to do with neurodiversity, but specifically autism, Thomas's content is on point.
Yes.
You will not.
I got a new video coming out recently talking about changes to the neurodiversity movement. So if you are interested in that, then it will be soon.
I didn't see it.
No, it's not out yet.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be coming out. I need to record it tomorrow.
Your 7 Sins was brilliant, Thomas. Says Elmin.
Oh, thanks. Well, I appreciate. Thank you very much, Mike, and thank you very much everybody who's tuned in and stuff.
You've carried me. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
I'll see you all later.
Take care, Thomas.
Bye.
Bye. That, as they say, was Mr. Henley. Okay. Coming up next, another autistic creator. None of you know where you stand, I think, is where we're at. Oh, Emma? We're still here, right? Oh, yeah. So interesting to see both of you. Mike's a quirky. Am I? Thomas so calm. Thomas is very calm. So if you hear him, thanks to the collapse prize. Nice. Yeah, Thomas is fabulous. We had a great time chatting in person. I'm conscious that I'm not talking over Thomas at any point, but because it could happen. Because I do that sometimes. Eagle Rider photography. Yeah, totally. We can even do a photography themed stream. Russell, not just yet. I'll be honest. I'm feeling a lot better now, but that's mostly because the codeine has kicked in. And I did contact a few autistic creators that haven't been on this channel before. I think Tanner and I'm a bit in love with Thomas Platonic. Yeah, so I mean, I did say to him when we were filming together, I did say, I'm going to put out a short and say we're on a date. And he just burst out laughing. And I'm like, I'm joking. I'm not trying to give him unwanted stuff. Less talking over each other than his podcast with you as his guest. Was less talking over each other than in his podcast with you as his guest. Nice. Thomas is great, by the way, and there is literally, for me, no better person to take me to the gym and show me how stuff goes with the free weights. I've used machines before. I go to the gym and do cardio, right? I'll go and do the rowing thing or the treadmill, or that's not really my problem. I need to work on upper body strength. So Thomas was great. Thomas has left the chat. He's going to go to bed. He's been working out. I'm sorry, but I don't have Instagram or TikTok. I'm not very good at social media. I have Discord, Messenger, and a couple of apps like Line. What's Line? WhatsApp. Yeah, so that was pretty cool, right? So it was good to see Thomas. Back to radio voice of Mike. One sec. Okay, there we go. Audio should be a bit better now. I'm just reading the comments, by the way. Ah, that's great. Yeah, Thomas is a fabulous person. And thank you, Jackie. Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, it's been fab talking to Thomas. I do get really, really uncomfortable in gyms. If I respect someone, they talk softly. Once you notice they start to speak, you automatically start talking because you want to hear them. I think you do that too. Yeah, I don't want to talk over Thomas. I'm concerned that I might do. I'm loving all your collabs. It feels like an autistic community is building on YouTube. Hey, Brad, thank you so much for that. That would be something fantastic. And I do not have designs on leading people in any way at all. Zero, zilch. But if I can influence, I would influence a stronger, bigger, happier, healthier autistic community online. Because it's great. I think we can be proud of how good it is. Earlier on in the stream, we had Jen from Neurodivergent. Also worth your time. Our content's very different to Thomas's and mine. Also incredibly valuable. It's good to have some decentralization, Japards. Welcome, by the way. And yeah, I agree with you 100%. That's kind of what I mean. Like just activity. The sun never sets on the autistic cats, and it definitely doesn't set on the autistic community in general. I'm going to pop into the... Oh, sorry, 1 second. We shall do... Oh, Eagle Rider, you're welcome. You're very welcome. You're all very, very welcome. Right, we can do a short after party, but it will have to be short because voice. Mike, you don't talk too much, and if you do, maybe it's because of Autism or ADHD. Yeah, definitely. I definitely do talk too much sometimes. Like, I've got a habit of talking over people, and I don't mean to. It's hard to explain. I didn't speak until I was 4, nearly 5, and I make up for it now, and I get quite excited. Thanks. The stream's probably only balanced because I've got a sore throat. Yeah, WhatsApp should be connected with email addresses rather than phone numbers. Definitely. Helen, when we met up, we weren't talking over each other too much, were we? That was all right. That worked. Okay, so there will be a short after party. There are some new folks that have joined. There you go. That's a bit better. There will be a short after party for those of you that are my Patreon supporters. Are there any rules for conversation for the after party? I need to know, Eagle Rider. Well, just the normal rules on the Discord. There's a rules channel. I think they're all very, very commonsensical. Generally speaking, Discord doesn't police our conversations, but YouTube does. That's the difference. It means that we're able to do stuff and say stuff without getting YouTube breathing down the neck. There's certain words I feel like I can't say related to, you know, anti-autism treatments. So there we are. I'll see some of you there.